Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the HSEL Rainbow Six Siege Grand Finals. We've got probably the best underagers that you can think of in high school esports ready for us today to battle it out on 5 maps possibly in probably what could be a very competitive series between Ridgewood and Jesuit. I'm not really
Just call him
caught up on my
JCP.
French.
J-Sweet. Just
JCP!
sweet.
JCP. I'm not really
JCP.
caught up. I'm not really caught up on my French. I'm Jazzman. This is Cookies. I mean, if you don't know who Cookies is, then you're lost. And we're here for a pretty exciting finals. I think. I'm hyped. We got quite an interesting set of maps here. Not really interesting on Oregon, but we still got like Consulate and Cafe, so we got the run of the
I
mill.
will say, Jazzman, on this new patch, Oregon, at least from my ranked experiences so far in this patch, it is quite explosive, experience. It's a lot faster than you would expect, especially around like bunker, like on the basement. It's not really as slow as previous patches for sure. It's definitely going to be a more entertaining experience for all of us, really.
Yeah, hopefully, because combined obviously with the Wamai changes of losing his shield and the more, I guess, impactful change, the Aegir ADSs have just been completely reworked, completely modernized, and I really like it. And I do think you're right. I think this is definitely going to help Oregon kind of move a little bit faster, not so congested in the bunker and attic areas. But in general, an interesting meta has kind of developed after the 22nd meta where almost you're punished if you're a bit too late, because obviously I don't think Aruna Gates are in play today, but if you don't clear ADSs, if you don't shoot them anymore, you could be punished for a late push, because obviously you have to send nades in and those can get burnt while my discs are going to stack. So it's kind of flipped on its head. It's instead of just burning ADSs throughout the entire match and then pushing at the last second, you're pushing, and if you're burning ADSs at the last second, you might just lose the round. So it's quite interesting, I think, and hopefully this final will reflect that.
I mean, it definitely rewards decisive pushes. I think that's the one thing that, like I've talked about as a caster, I really like to see when people just go for it, right? They don't just dawdle around. The new changes definitely work in the favor of people who just kind of, toss our flashes, we go. We throw our grenade, we go, right? None of this, oh, I don't know if I want to push you now. They just go for it. And that's what we want to see. That's what makes Siege exciting. It's in the name. It turns it into a siege, right? So hopefully we get a lot of that. I mean, we saw Cafe. It's going to be the third map we're guaranteed to see Cafe, even if someone gets 3-0'd here. Cafe is going to be a map that changes a lot as well. You're going to see a lot of, especially on that top floor, you're going to see things flow a lot smoother on that pixel spot on the third floor. We're going to see the bakery takes go a lot easier. It's going to be a blast, but we're just a little bit away from starting this one. How about our sponsors?
A quick read from our sponsors. Obviously, there's a lot to go around here, so we're doing a giveaway. So make sure that you type an exclamation point giveaway. It's going on all week long, and you can just type exclamation point giveaway. It's like the exclamation point give charm. You're used to that if you're from Siege. So do exclamation point giveaway. Tell them about winning Asus products. That's pretty cool. Asus products. I mean, they got monitors, like graphics cards. They got all the shebang. But we're going to get into Oregon here. We've been talking about the meta a little bit. We've been talking about how it's been developing. Let's witness that.
Let's witness it. Start the game, casters. That's what we're going to do. Ridgewood versus Jesuit. It's Jesuit in the game, but we're going to call him JCP. It's easier. We're not French. It's funny, Jesuit, those guys are from Texas, I believe. It's funny that high school name made it to Texas. You'd think they'd be something a little more, maybe I'm lost. Maybe something a little more Texas sounding.
You don't know about the French region of Jesuit, Texas?
I didn't know the French people made it to Texas, but regardless, Thatcher and Jackal are going to be off the board. I mean, we talked about it. Thatcher, maybe traditionally in the previous patch, would cause this map to play really slowly. But honestly, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. These teams, obviously, they played this season out together. I think the more interesting one here is the Jackal ban. That's going to be interesting. I don't think I've seen a Jackal ban in Oregon since year 2, year 3.
I do see that a lot in ranked.
Yeah.
That is a ranked ban. That is really interesting, because Jackal's not that powerful, to be completely honest with you, especially on Oregon. You don't have too much of a roam setup, and if you do, you most likely know where it's going to be happening. Malusi is just an annoying operator. I'm so happy to see that ban, but Yeah, Jackal's really interesting. I mean, the only real utility that he brings that can kind of be round like helping is smokes. I guess I could see that working out pretty well, but you don't ban an operator because they have smokes. That's just Jackal's just not that good. That is a very common ranked ban, not a very common competitive ban. You've left open Ace. You've left open Habana, who's completely reworked and completely different and will stomp you if you don't handle that properly. They left open Maverick. There's a lot to go around. Thatcher is banned, but with a Maverick, it might not even matter. With a Maverick and Ace and Hibana all left up. So that ban phase is really interesting. I'm not sure about that one, but regardless, we'll be going upstairs to start us off here. You're going to be seeing very common operators on an upstairs hold, such as Kaid and Wamai. So should definitely help out Ridgewood, who have 6 rounds to go by on the defense.
6 rounds indeed. That Electric Claw going to be placed on the attic, I imagine. Second one, I mean, we typically see that the classroom window being an easy way to get rid of the Electric Claws, typically placed there on the generator wall. So definitely an upgrade to something like Bandit or even Mute on those walls, because those, we're talking about, like I said, it's pretty default to get rid of wall denial typically. It's where teams find trouble is on those shields, right? Which, you're looking at it, there are no shields on the defense here. This isn't Shield Team 6 like we've seen in previous iterations of the game. This is going to be a lot more dynamic. Omai has, you know, he's got the alarm system. He seems to be AFK. Fried is, you know, frying himself some donuts or something. He's not moving. Hopefully he gets to moving eventually. But yes, he has placed his alarms and everything. So, no shields though. I think that's definitely going to allow the attack to do kind of what they want here. They've got a lot of soft destruction, a lot of flank protection here, and it's really going to come down to defense. It seems like there's a lot of, I mean, we see the Legion. That 1.5 is going to come into play. There's going to be a lot of swinging happening here, and there's not going to be a lot of shields to protect. I mean, with attackers going for that tower push early on here, no contest from Ridgewood. They're just kind of handing it over to them. No real roam. Looks like the whole team's just stacked on site waiting for the inevitable push here. Kingbro actually working his way into match as well, so they're just Sweet Hero JCP already starting a pinch and defense. I'm wondering what they're going to do in terms of resistance here.
Can see an interesting strategy here from Praise. So usually as a attacker, you would open the left side panel in order to pressure players over that are playing over in what is called pit, which is basically the bottom of the attic platform. But instead they've opened the right side and have taken the more safe approach because obviously they're covered by a big blue box. I don't really know what that is. You can see Fried is getting extremely aggressive with that one, and Reed Sync is actually going to get the kill all the way over in Trophy. This isn't being contested by anyone as of right now, and Shadow's going to fall too. All of a sudden, Reed has just gotten a triple kill to start us off, and there's no resistance from Ridgewood as Raggedy and Fried will trade. Classical will go down. It's all up to Volpe in a 1-4. What has happened to Ridgewood's defense? They have just completely crumbled and haven't watched enough angles. They've kind of felt like they were trapped, and well, JCP are just going to start to take advantage of that. You can see, obviously, Ace starting to get the plant down here. Volpe, he's running low on options. He'll try and take down, I believe that was Praise, but won't land a shot. And he is trapped inside of kids' dorms, and he's going to get fragged out here. Nearly a flawless round here to start off for JCP. That's what you want on attack. But that was a really loose defense from the side of Ridgewood. I'm really confused about that one. Let's see if they can fix it up in round number 2. That round will fly by us, and we'll be moving on.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking again. I kind of called it. There were no shields or anything in play. And when you're kind of faced with challenging that trophy door, it's kind of a pickle. When you don't have any shield, no. I mean, we see that defensive lineup was kind of traditional in a way. There was no adjustment in terms of adding operator that had a shield, maybe like a Warden, maybe like Frost. Even though they're kind of seen as meme picks previously, they're stronger now because they bring the shields that are so necessary on that site. And we're actually going to be seeing the Aruni. Like, again, this is, I would say, an HSEL. This league is different. There's only operator that has been, I guess, quarantined from play compared to traditional, like Challenger League, Pro League, whatever, is Echo. As of right now, they can play with any operator they want that's selectable, right? So that includes Aruni, who just came out with Operation Neon Dawn, our most recent operation, and that's going to change this basement site significantly. It's not a shield, but it's going to be able to eat those throwables. It's going to be able to eat that soft destruction that the attackers bring. But again, I guess if I can point out that there's potentially something missing here in this defense lineup, it's the shield again. You know, like, I would love to see the dynamic between maybe a Jaeger and a Rooney together with a shield behind it. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It looks like the Rooney gauge is probably going to get cleared pretty rapidly. And, I mean, just look at how many throwables the attackers have. I can't imagine the gauge are going to last very long.
No ADSs either, no on my disc. It's all going to be relying on that Rooney shield, which only needs one nade, and then I think it resets after 30 seconds. So that's not the best line of defense, one could say. And Ridgewood are going to be cramming themselves inside. No bunker hold, no bunker extension. Obviously, as you spoke about, there is no deployable shield to really help them out to begin with. So if they wanted to extend out, they're going to be dealing with a dangerous swing and no protection whatsoever, no clearing. Basically, Jesuit's just going to be able to play their refrags, but they're not even going to need to worry about that. All they have is an Electric Claw and a Reinforced Wall, which is basically what a Maverick and an Ace are meant to deal with. So, should be no issues on that end. See, Jesuit aren't going to take this as quickly as they did last round. Instead, they're going to drone out and find that the only extension is Volpe playing inside a freezer with head holes. And that's a very common way to hold freezer, because obviously if Volpe dies out, which that's a very powerful position inside a freezer, he's most likely safe, but obviously with no ADSs, it could be a little bit dangerous. And even if he falls back, his teammates can hold his cross all the way over from Laundry. It's a very nice setup, but that's the only setup that Ridgewood have that's typically off-site, and you can see that helps Jesuit just get in super easily. They're already on the freezer stairs, droning out, and once they find that Volpe's there, they're going to be able to clear him with a few nades, and maybe not even that. They might just need a swing on it. You can see Reedsink is wasting no time getting himself into the action and dying immediately. Volpe, a beautiful shot there to get the opening frag for this round. Frag's going to force Volpe into a crossfire here. Praise will fall, and Volpe is doing great so far. C4 ripped. However, I think that Classical's rotated away, or sorry, King Bro's rotated away. Raven will get shoes, and seems like all the P10 Ronies are doing the work here. Classical will take down Aram. It's going to be a 4 versus 2. Rooney Gates cleared on bunker door, and King Bro and Classical are completely split up. You can see Classical will die to his own ping, and Raven will take down King Bro for his third kill, I believe. Sorry, second kill. And Ridgewood will take round number 2 very handedly. Kind of a repeat of what happened to them last round, but defense successful, and now they have upstairs as an option.
So that's interesting. I would say Ridgewood. I was gonna call them on the. We see the Jackal ban come out, right? And this is the second, site in a row where we've seen them not really take advantage of any sort of roam potential. They're not really roaming on the west side. They're not even really starting like on the top of the freezer stairs shooting drones, anything like that. They're just kind of playing really reserved and onto the site. And again, for Jesuit or JCP, they've been playing a pinch style. They have players coming from different directions, which generally is what you want to see at the higher level play. You don't want to see everyone come down the same staircase or down the same hatch or anything. But I find it very curious the Maverick and the Ace both pushed freezer the way that they did. It's kind of against what they showed in the first round. I mean, we saw the first round they were pinching out the hard breachers in separate directions. I think if they kind of reeled it back, I think it was a little bit of overconfidence, I want to say. I mean, they were kind of relying. I mean, Reedsink just murdered 3 people the first round, right? Coming to that round, second round, round 2, it's a totally different ballgame. Obviously, Volpe is playing no games with that new 1.5 Roni. And yeah, I feel like that one just kind of faltered because they kind of forced that freezer push a little too much. Again, relying on Reedsink to spearhead that a little bit too much instead of maybe playing the more traditional structured attack that we saw from them on kids in round 1, which, speaking of kids, we're going back to kids. Part 2, except we're going to have the Aruni here again on this kid's site, which, I mean, that's interesting, Aruni. It's going to be on that trophy door, but again, no shield to really, I guess, add layers to that defense.
And I think we're going to probably keep hammering away at this shield problem, because Oregon is a map that can basically be won by deployable shields. Obviously, you don't have a lot of access to them nowadays, as Wamai, who's your most common operator, also brings them, but you also have Smoke, who is probably the most common anchor in this entire game, not only not being brought, but also has a shield on his backup, but I guess Ridgewood are allergic. We'll see if that works out. Run out here from Vigil, a new run out timer. Obviously, as you can see, it's basically like, what, 1 second? So Fried will get spotted out here. Won't find anything just yet. As the rest of Jesuit are going to start to just get themselves in. You can see there's a little bit of an offside play. It's going to be fried bottom white. He could have some sort of effect on the players currently pushing Master at some point in the round if he plays it right. But we're going to be seeing a split take from them as they get themselves into Attic with no resistance, actually. Raven is, instead of opting to play inside a pit, he is going to be playing inside of kids behind his reinforced wall and just swinging, which is a really interesting way to play that. You can see Classical is going to waste no time getting himself into pit and start swinging this doorway, which can really cut Ridgewood's defense in half. You can see that Aram is just none the wiser. He'll be the first death of this round as Classical gets himself in with a nice frag. Volpe's going to lose a little bit of HP as well as Praise. And the rest of Ridgewood are on the back foot already as they've lost a player and they've also started to feel the pressure. Resync will take down the flanking Fried. That was basically your linchpin of this entire game, was that possible flank. Shadow will take down King Bro, however, as Raven's looking for yet another shot. Nothing just yet. However, Classical's inside of kids. He'll take down Raven for a double kill. Make that 3 with the ARX. It doesn't have a lot of bullets, but it's able to do the work. Shadow is left in a 1 versus 4. We've seen a lot of these sort of clutch scenarios unfold. It's usually just one person sweeps the other team, and that's exactly what's going to happen this round. Jesuit will prove that they are the better upstairs team on the tech as they take their second round here. So, what went wrong there for Ridgewood? Honestly, nothing was being held. They were just kind of passively waiting, just waiting for Jesuit to get in the site. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not how you hold a site.
Yeah, I maybe the first time in a many Oregon games I've watched. That was the easiest Attic control of 2020. In the waning days of 2020, it took multiple patches. It took all these games, but
that was a speed run, an actual speed run.
He just hopped in the window. He said, "Oh, it's free. It's free 99, baby." And I mean, I'm our friend Aram. You know, it's funny. I almost want to call him Aaron, but you know, it's Aram.
Put respect on the name.
It's just, he's probably like, what in the world? Where in the world is my teammate Attic? I mean, it's round 4. We're finally going to see that shield come out. And maybe if they put it, maybe in Attic, like we see, I mean, just about every.
It's as if we know something, Cookies.
You know, every Oregon game ever, you see that shield there. And it's for that reason, so that someone like Classical doesn't just say, hey, free real estate and jump in like that. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to say, yeah, we need a little more attention in Attic, guys. What in the world? To be able to just walk up, nomad the rotate, and air jab the rotate, rather, and to just decimate everybody. That shouldn't happen. It shouldn't be a thing. So that's definitely a significant adjustment, and we see that from Ridgewood at least. An adjustment. And Vigil's going to be deleted from their lineup. They're not going to run that. They're going to be bringing that Jaeger and Mai, and this is more traditional from what we see on the top 4. No Aruni, no lack of Jaeger and Mai altogether. So it's going to probably play a lot harder for just Sweet JCP. They're not going to be able to just do what they want. At least that's what I believe.
Johnwork's gonna come in here for Jesuit, JCP, Jesuit, if you're French. I'm just trying to please Rafi right now, basically. Just him. I want to make sure he's happy. So we do see Raven inside of bathroom, and what happened last time was that Ridgewood wanted to get that late flank, and that honestly could have won them the round, but Resync was just better and just knew it was coming. So you can see they're adapting a little bit here. Resync with his 3 launch, what do they call them? Rockets, I guess? Breaching tools? Is there a defined name for that?
It's in my head, but for some reason it's just...
Right?
I mean,
yeah,
I know the official name. It's from like Battlefield, like the M320, but I don't think it's
Oh,
called that.
the M203. Or so, wait, no, M203 is grenade launcher. Sorry. Yeah, I guess it is M320.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like a different... They have like M203 and then they have M320. I mean, this is where, again, we talk about the shields. This is why Attack's struggling with this now. I mean, that grenade's probably going to deal with it. And I mean, forget a grenade. Classical just going to blow his head off as a push comes through. But there's all kinds of alarm systems set up. And Volpe's going to instantly shut down that push from Classical and trade that push out. And that shield is still up, interestingly enough.
It is literally survived like every single weaponry explosive.
What's funny, I'm pretty sure he could almost try his hand at like torching that shield. It's close enough to the window. It has the range. Surprisingly, I've seen that one before.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's possible.
I mean, we did see, though, this difference in this round is that, wow, what a pre-fire from King, bro. She was just going to destroy everyone through that trophy door as Reed flies through. It's almost deja vu. Reed dominant on that trophy door, and Jesuit just took that round and ran with it.
Yeah, Ridgewood look really split up right now. It feels like there's a lot of players just not doing anything. There's some lack of proactivity on the defense. No one's holding much of anything. There's always a doorway that's open, and if that doorway is cleared, there's no reaction to it. We can fall back to that 2 rounds ago. Whenever it was I believe ARAM who was on Legion, and Classical just kind of walked into pit and just peeked the door, and ARAM just had no idea. So it feels like some IGL work is going wrong because Ridgewood is basically saying, all right, you're holding this door, this door, this door, and then they just hold it for the rest of the round. Yeah, and if they want to make a play, they just don't. It's like if you get one frag on the side of JCP, the round is basically yours. So you gotta watch out for that, Ridgewood. There's got to be some sort of adaptivity from you. Got to be reactive to stuff like that. I mean, this is Siege. It is all about being as fluid and as dynamic as you can. So we are going to keep the shields but retire the Jaeger, as it seems like the Aruni is the main gadget waster of this setup. But going back downstairs, Ridgewood did have success on this thanks to a good freezer hold combined with a kind of lackluster freezer push from the attack. Let's see what they can make out of this as round number 5 Eclipse is upon us. And maybe I think we'll see a little bit more nade usage, as obviously Praise has that, and he was going to use his nades on Freezer last time, but he got fragged out immediately. I guess Reed Sync got fragged out.
Yeah, I think he's like throwing his grenades, but they're not hitting anything. You know, it's not that he's, forgetting he has grenades. He's just kind of missing them. Because Reed Sync's just going to push through into bunker here again. I mean, they're bringing the Aruni on this door, and they brought the shield this time, again, at least for the basement. But it's not really placed, again, it's not really placed to layer itself. That's kind of where, I guess, the best defense is just separates the best from, like, an average defense. Is we're going to see a gunfight here. He's just going to, forget a shield, I'm just going to swing on you. Reed Sync, the spearhead we talk about all the time, eliminated. First opening death. That might change things significantly for Ridgewood here. It's been a factor that's missing, like that player that just kind of actually resists the attack to some extent. It finally comes through, and it's going to be a huge opening kill to start this one off as, again, pillar control lost. I mean, there's no shield there. So they're just going to be able to take this. This ball's actually, that's one heck of a wall to leave off. It actually works in their favor. Shoes fried off the angle he just opened, and all of a sudden, JCP kind of reeling a little bit, hurting a little bit as there's no freezer break at all. All the players pushing from bunker. Maverick's going to be able to get rid of this electric claw, but I'm wondering if that's going to be enough. I mean, he might be able to get rid of it. I mean, Praise, we talked about earlier, the man throws grenades. They're not hitting, it seemed to not hit their mark. I mean, I don't think he's hit any sort of gadget yet. Gonna go for it again. He might find Fried here if he can land it. This is
literally just Michael Jordan playing MLB right
yeah,
now.
I mean,
it's
Steph Curry with the grenades.
Praise is going to take down Shadow in the meantime, and ARAM is going to get caught off on his flank. Not killed off just yet, though. He might be able to stall a little bit more time, as Classical's going to have to force himself downstairs. And Jesuit, unable to get rid of these Electroclaws, that's going to stall them out for quite some time. But you can see the rest of Ridgewood isn't really holding anything. They're all stuck on the back of site. And if Praise can just hold his doors, and maybe someone holds a freezer door, and also he holds his rotate, well, it's not going to be needed anymore, as Kingbro will take down the player sitting inside a freezer, and all of a sudden, Ridgewood have just fallen. Now it's all up to ARAM, who's off-site, and Raven, who is stuck in-site, as Classical is inside of the closet, and he'll just take the head off of Raven. It's all up to ARAM. Beautiful shot there, and recoil control. He'll try and take down his third. Can't do it just yet. Looking for anyone and anything. But Kingbro has his angles. He'll take him down regardless. That's ARAM's triple kill solidified, but Classical has so much HP right now, and ARAM is just going to try and stick it. He'll try and fake it out there, but Classical is wiser than that one. He'll take down his third kill, and Jesuit will take round number 5. Ridgewood just did not hold the other site. They had freezer control. Nobody was pushing them in freezer, and they could have just held the cross, but nobody was holding anything. And Jesuit were just able to walk into the site, quite literally walk into the site, because ARAM was completely nullified back in tower stairs, and there was like, what, 3 defenders left? not
Yeah,
holding anything.
Aram. I
It's
mean,
not the
Aram
play.
went for the Aram hit the flank, right? I got to give credit to Aram. That's his first round where it's really been, I guess, a momentum shifter. He hit the flank. He got the opening kill, lit up the Nomad. Like you said, where is the spatial coverage for Ridgewood there? I mean, we saw the Mozzie swinging off the freezer door. It just looked like he just didn't hit his shots, and then from there it was just nobody's home anywhere. I'm not even sure if JCP actually opened that little elbow wall. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it was Maverick like he was going to throw a grenade over, but I don't think he ever actually got the electrical off. They actually just won gunfights through the hallway and through the site door.
I mean, yeah, even if it was open, they just didn't go in.
Yeah, I mean they
in.
just literally murdered everyone from the hallway, and that's almost unheard of. I'm telling you, that's unheard of
that
for
is,
an Oregon defense. And I mean, you said it best. At some point, somebody's got to hold something. They got to D up here in the paint.
Volpe is having a hard time.
Yeah, Volpe is just. Yeah, you gotta. I don't know what's happening. I mean, that's pretty much what's happening to their bullets, right? When they're shooting people that are walking the site, they're just bouncing off, and they're losing every critical gunfight there. I mean, that's just.
Yeah.
It hurts.
The fact that Classical is currently putting up Chala numbers on Nomad just is concerning.
Yeah,
that's in general. That is very concerning.
Definitely. I mean, Nomad's got the gun to do. To do it. The ARX is not anything to be, skeptical of, especially once you shoot your air jabs out. But my goodness, it's just.
It's mainly the fact that he's allowed to just do that. Like he should be the one holding flanks, but there's no pressure. He's just not getting pressured whatsoever. If there's a flank, it's one player just going, "I'm gonna make a play."
I mean, we saw Aram. I mean, like I said, that was a really good round from Aram. Unfortunately, he's unable to clutch it out, but it's just. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much the only one who really took a fight and had any chance at winning them, unfortunately, for Ridgewood. So we see that again. He's actually going to be pushing up here on this green door. He's going to be taking this challenge before the Nomad goes down. So we see this a lot from players in EU, specifically someone like Joe. But thing with someone like Joe and thing with Aram there, sometimes it just, that early challenge can go. It's such a polarizing effect on a round, and it's not going to go in the favor of the defense. But I say that Shadow, by the way, he's tagged HSEL. He's not, he's not a paid actor or anything. He's
just proud to be here.
He's just proud to play. I mean, we gotta say
what is going on with Ridgewood? Why is this wall open? Why is Reedsig not able to get that? Raven will go with the kill, and Volpe will too. So finally, Ridgewood have worked out how to hold Freezer and how it's working out. Raven's nade is gonna get saved, as I believe Praises. Yeah, it gets eaten up by an ADS, and Volpe, he's just holding strong inside a Freezer. So finally, we're seeing some resistance on that Freezer side, and Raven's gonna find yet another kill. A very quick round there. I'm really concerned as to why Jesuit played it like that, but regardless, nice shot from him. Ridgewood are going to take their final defense in a very, very intriguing half. They'll do the bare minimum. A 2-4 split's not terrible. Well, no, actually, I take that back. You're 2-4 on defense. That's not good. That is bad. That is really bad. But let's see if they can pick it up on attack, which is usually your most difficult side. That's why if you're listening to a cast, you most likely, I think, Cookie says this a lot too. I'm pretty sure every caster says it. If you're up 2-4 on defense, that's typical. That's your most typical split. But 2-4 off defense on Oregon? Not sure about that one. That's not the scoreline you want to put up. That is not the numbers you want to put up. And Jesuit, who look like a little bit more of a solid team, somewhat. I say that with a little bit of caution because again, their Nomad is currently entering and just going off. But if they're a little bit more experienced, if they have a little bit more of a strategy plan, this Oregon could fly by them really quickly.
Definitely. I mean, you also have Reedsig had himself a couple dynamic rounds, sparky rounds to say the least. So
yeah.
I mean, for Ridgewood, there's just no equivalent really, other than Volpe's had his couple moments, but otherwise it's been pretty quiet on the fragging side for Ridgewood. So maybe the defense side switch will change that. Maybe maybe like I said, this map might just be different. It might be a map where people win their attacks. People actually are able to get things going on attack. But it could very well be just Ridgewood. The spatial, the defense factor is not there. They're not being physical enough. at the point of attack. And I mean, look at just JCP already. This is what Ridgewood wasn't doing. There's a roamer on the bottom tower stairs here. They're actually contesting this tower push. They're actually making the attack work for it. That's something that was totally lacking from Ridgewood, totally just non-existent. And it's a huge factor. I mean, you see how concerned Fried is, and you see like that electric claw on Attic is a lot harder to get when you don't know what the heck could be in meeting. The Maverick obviously makes that a little bit easier, but look at how focused they are on tower. Look how the whole team's here. And you've got Volpe, who's alone on the other side. And that's exactly, I mean, that's precisely why you're pushing along like that. I was almost like counting down the seconds when he was gonna die, because that is a tall task to hold that master side by yourself. So again, it's just force them to earn map control, and it's just night and day. And now Ridgewood's got a hole to crawl themselves out of. ARAM's already lit to 1 HP as well, trying to fight a flanking player.
Really interesting push in general from Ridgewood. They're going to start to split it up a little bit, but ReedSync has this intel on ARAM, who is none the wiser. Oh no, ReedSync, if he could just time this properly, he might be able to get a freebie, but he's covered by the hollow. Regardless, the HP damage already done on him will basically make him lose the gunfight, but he's immediately traded out. Good positioning and awareness there from Raven to take him down. And the rest of Ridgewood have swapped their attack. You've left Raven alone, but here's the issue. Raven doesn't have nades. He can't clear the shield. He's going to have to take it head on, and that just doesn't sound like a good idea. You can see Shoes is just prepared for this. So it almost feels like Ridgewood have kind of given up control entirely of Attic. You see that Raven will try to get himself in through the window, but commonly that window is never used in Attic unless you want to try and get utility through it, but even then, it most likely gets cleared out.
Remember Classical just hopped in? Did that?
Yeah, that was like the first time I've literally ever seen that. Like, that was weird. But Fried is also going to open up Attic, so they're pressuring Attic pretty well. And you'll see Raven will get himself in at the right timing. 38 seconds left, and you've gotten a series of frags gone here, but King Bro is going to take it back here for Jesuit as Raven will fall. It's all up to Shadow and Fried inside a trophy. Praises a shotgun. He loses that with a shotgun. How do you lose that with a shotgun? Shadow's put down to 25 HP, but a long angle here held by Classical will be the ending for him. Fried is left in a 1 versus 2, and with 15 seconds left, he's not going to be able to go the long route. He's going to have to push right into the angles of Jesuit. Can't find an opening frag here. It's just going to be him through the barbed wire in a 1 versus 2. Classical's not able to get his frag either. Everyone's missing their shots, but King Bro will finalize the round there. Jesuit will take round number 7, and a 2-5 deficit, or a 3-round deficit has formed. Things are starting to look really concerning for Ridgewood as map number 1 is starting to fall in between their fingers.
I mean, I think JCP is just a lot more, they're just, like I said, they're just a lot better at that point of attack, I would say. I mean, they're just contesting way better than Ridgewood did. Whether it's attack or defense, they take their map control when they want it. They properly split their attacks. And then on, defense, they're literally everywhere. I mean, we saw the Jaeger was on the tower stairs. He's on the master stairs. He's killing the Zofia who's pushing solo. I mean, they're all over the place. They're playing, a full court press. And Ridgewood, there's just no equivalent there for them, at least. So hopefully, as we go through here to round 8, Ridgewood finds some answers, because right now, JCP kind of running away with it in terms of momentum. They've got this basement site coming up as well, and look at the lineup here. We've got the Shield, we've got the Jaeger and Wamai.
Take notes, honestly, Ridgewood.
Yeah, take notes. Pretty much, it's pretty much how you're supposed to play this one, and I imagine they're going to have someone. ReedSync's, again, he's playing a nice game here so far, at least. Imagine that man on the roam is going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. Again, we see that unique Jackal band come out, but again, nobody's really roaming other than JCP. So maybe we'll see that come into play here in this round as well. We'll see a little bit more of a, some actual aggression on that west side. We do see that elbow defense set up. This is classic Oregon played by JCP. It's just almost crazy how polarizingly different the two teams are playing.
Yeah, it feels like a lack of experience on the side of Ridgewood. They're playing IQ with a commando. Personal preference is a thing, but the G8 is just crazy.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Commando with the hollow too. It is a cool hollow. I can't hate on that new hollow.
I hate that hollow. I don't like the Cyberchuck hollow. That is just awful.
That other hollow sucks. Like Sledges. That one is just delete it. Again, we see the look at the roam from Ridgewood, though. This is what was missing. Again, he's making them earn this. Don't give them that West control. Force them to take the fights. Force them to drone properly. And this is going to be the first fight that comes through. Reed doesn't necessarily want to take this aggressive swing yet. He could go for the play on drone. There's no drone in the same vicinity as Reed. He could go for this kill on the droney player. He's going to absolutely take down Area Man, drop the diffuser as well in the middle of the hallway, and he's just going to run away. They have no idea where he's running. He could be running upstairs. He could be running downstairs. That's why you have that player that can force a roam and force, again, the attackers to earn it.
See Shadow's working away on the hatch. I don't think that's going to open, though.
You're wrong.
I take it back. I am silver, according to chat. And I think I have proven that. So the rest of Ridgewood are kind of stalling out a little bit here. They have the time management good so far, but it's kind of that, again, it's like that kind of like minute where everything just halts until they finally find out what's going on. So when they drone out read sync, or if they drone out read sync, which is the very concerning part, is that if they could clear them out. But if they don't, this could be a round-winning play. I'm really concerned at read sync's positioning. You can see that Pride and Shadow are going to start to get themselves in. Obviously, Shadow armed with the nades, although there is ADSs. They might not have to use it, though. Shoes is swinging just for the kill. Nade's going to come on through here. I believe there is an ADS on that. Yep, you can see it right behind the sink, as well as will my bang. This Classical's going to take down Raven as a 3 versus 5 ensues. That is the diffuser! Why is the diffuser so... What? Why is the diffuser...
You know what? That is... I think they're... I mean, it could have been actually trying to go for that plant. Shadow's going to attempt to wrestle this round back, but... I mean, we'll talk about that after the round of that. What is this? I mean, so Volpe's going to... Volpe and Shadow are going to have to work a miracle. Probably not going to happen. Classical's going to absolutely end Volpe.
No.
I mean, we can talk about it now. Look where he's placed it. You can plant... I mean, that is a plant we've seen. I've seen it before on front takes.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is... It was, I mean, they're a little bit of a man disadvantage. So I don't think they took into account the Classical was actually sitting in that spot, unfortunately for them. I mean, it's a pretty common spot, but they didn't take that into account.
Yeah, they forgot about the shotgun that might just eat them alive.
Yeah, I mean, if they had overlooked it and actually not played anyone in laundry, the defense that is, it could have possibly worked. Honestly, they had the crossfire on Freezer. They had the players holding from front. They just, hey, we forgot the man was in laundry. It's tragic, but, I mean, nonetheless, they're going to have to win. They're going to have to win every round. They're going to have to go flawless if they want to potentially force even overtime here. It's JCP up 6-2 here. Going to be going to kitchen dining. They've been playing this Cade almost exclusively. Playing it rather well.
Yeah, fairly.
What are they going to be doing with it here? I mean, this site, we see that typically on that western side, you put that thermite charge, or if you have a thermite, there is no thermite, by the way. You put that thermite charge on the top of the west wall, you can get it open pretty easily. There's no thermite. There's no Maverick. They go for that west push in the showers, they might find themselves in a pickle. I can just tell you that right now.
Yeah.
There's
severely disappointing.
Especially, I mean, you look at JCP's ability. I mean, clearly, I mean, these guys strategically, I think on this map at least, are better than Ridgewood. It's night and day. But you see that Wamai playing in showers those impacts? We do know that Habana has a new change, right? Where, you know, 2 pellets, 4 pellets. You can pretty much shoot the impacts that the defenders can throw at your Habana pellets. But I mean, it's possible they put an electric claw on that wall as well if they want. So it's going to be problematic nonetheless for Ridgewood here. It's, again, they're going to have to pull out 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I mean, the ace Hib combo has become ever so deadly, but the Kite is your main counter, especially with a Thatcher ban. Breaching charges are going to pop. Raven's going to be, I think, holding the doorway swing, which is pretty smart. I like that angle. It's very safe. It might even be a free kill sometimes. But again, the glaring issue right now is that Ridgewood are going to have to deal with that electric claw on the bottom small tower wall. That is basically unopenable. Classical is going to be your roaming Jaeger for this round instead of Resync. He's on the Vigil with a long barrel. Oh no!
Rare gunfight loss.
Yeah, I was going to say, Classical's been dishing out kills today, but nothing yet here. You're going to see a retake attempt from Retake, but Raven's going off. It's a 5 versus 2 all of a sudden as Ridgewood have taken control of top floor as well as, I believe, Big Tower. They're going to start to open things up here right above the kitchen and start to make Jesuit just a little bit more uncomfortable right now. As you can see, Praise is left alive in a 1 versus 5. Will we get our first flawless round here with a very interesting deployable shield placement? We will! Shadow's going to finish him off, and Ridgewood will take JC Penny completely down. It's going to be a round for them, a very rare attacking round win. Just a very rare win in general, as obviously it has been, I believe, 3 rounds in a row from Jesuit, but that is going to be shut down for now. Let's see if Ridgewood can start to claw back just a little bit here, because they absolutely need it. Such a good attack, a great start here. Frags going their way. Could this be the momentum shift that they need? But obviously they're going to be going against a challenging Kids Dorms attack. Let's see if they can make it work.
Yeah, the real problem there is that was a third site. It's Oregon. Obviously, all the sites are very competitive, but it was a third site. When you want to start this comeback, you've got to win this. You've got to win this, at least kids or this upcoming basement site. You've got to win one of these rounds here, obviously, to have a chance at a comeback. And I don't know if they're going to be able to string together the same type of performance on our primary sites, what I'm getting at. That's where I see the issue for Ridgewood. They especially struggled on this site with the roam and with the, just, again, the contention, that JCP. I love the J-Sweet Penny. They should totally
the French JC Penny.
Yeah, they should
the French Texan. That's
yeah,
that's in 2077. What actually happens in Cyberpunk is that Texas is colonized by the French. And they call it Jesuit Penny, and they they restart JC Penny and name it Jesuit Penny.
Yeah, and they sell Louis Vuitton bags and the Jesuit Penny.
Louis Vuitton.
So, yeah, I mean, Classical's gonna be interesting switching to that Aruni. I mean, I'm telling you, that man on a Roni, that could be problematic for the attack here. I mean, he lost. I mean, he was the opening death that last round, a rare opening death from him. I think probably his first. I think him on a gun like that is definitely an issue. The man's on 15 kills and 9 rounds so far. Attack's gonna actually split push here. I mean, this was the thing that was kind of missing from the other attack. There was one player push from Master, but not 2. I think having that player with you to drone for you and allow you to kind of work this a lot safer, a lot easier, is going to be a good adjustment from Ridgewood, something that's kind of been lacking throughout the game. But if there's a time to fix your mistakes, it's now, as Pride's going to impact from below here to remove any sort of, hopefully remove that electric claw from that wall and allow the Habana pellets to go out. And that's going to be a pretty powerful split push to come through here. I mean, you're going to have the attic tower push coming through, and you're also going to have that master push, but I'm speaking too soon, as not only did he miss the impact, he's also dead from the, I'm not even sure how he died, to be honest with you.
Bodies will fall everywhere. Raven's going to get killed on the shoes. I also don't, did he die off the rappel?
Yeah, I imagine he rappelled up, but he didn't actually get the claw off. I mean, was he trying to impact the claw from the window? Possibly. But either way, he's dead. And again, they're not going to be able to get that wall open, at least without having the Maverick rotate. Speaking of the Maverick, he's going to take this fight on the K. He's not going to hear the C4. He's blown to Zimbabwe. That's King Bro. I'm shooting like the King, shooting like LeBron here with that C4. As Raven's going to try to put the pressure on from this window. He's going to miss that window to potentially catch King Bro in that rotate from attic. But looking like he's going to try to go for that attic window jump in that we saw from Classical. I mean, that is just magical stuff. But they're going to have to work some picks here. Defense is going to have to give it to them. There's no reason for them to do so. Barbed wire in place. Likely alarms in place as well. It's JCP's round to lose here, as there is going to be a big window jump in, probably from the Habana and the Ace here. Powerful weapon to have on this trophy door. But there is a shotgun playing close. I mean, Praise, we said this before. The man had a shotgun playing close before, and he put himself in a pickle. He got decimated. So hopefully this gunfight that's inevitably coming up here is going to go in his favor. The IQ going for the spam through the floor. I mean, check that man's PC. Gonna miss the shots, but again, it's gonna have to come down to the last 20 seconds here. Aram's actually gonna get the wall open, I believe, and Praise is gonna be eliminated from the big window. He overexposed himself. Classical waiting I mean, he's actually going to get flashed by the Hibana. Hibana's going to have an opportunity if she knows that he's flashed. He's going to do just that, fly through the window and claim the kill on the classical. And the comeback starting. King Bro is going to start. What could potentially be a 1 versus 3, but the reload is going to troll him there. Ridgewood. It's not over yet. It's not over until it's over.
They are definitely fighting back here. They have improved tremendously. It seems like their coordination is finally working out. They're not giving up way too many free picks. I say that as obviously Fried died on Repel. Kind of unlucky. We'll call it unlucky. But they got their pushes together. They got themselves in the closet. It's a very common take, I guess, from older Oregon. Obviously, Attic is now your main take, but obviously from old Oregon, you would push into what is now Games. It used to be called Gen or Generator because there was a generator there. But Oregon obviously got an upgrade. They don't need to pay their electric bill. They're just chilling. So now it's Games. And they made it work. It kind of came down to the fact that they also kind of double pushed. They got people into Attic at the same time as people getting into Trophy, which is basically what you could consider a perfect push. And then on top of that, they had pressure all the way over from Big Window. So it's good stuff. I would say there's a really well-rounded attack here. Jesuit obviously couldn't really do much off of it. They got trapped and just really well played to Ridgewood. Let's see if they can keep it up, though. Obviously, it's not over till it's over. We got 2 more rounds to go before we even send it to overtime. So we'll see if they can make that work. So they're bringing the very typical smoke shield. I think that's fine. Well, that is also very interesting. That is another way to play it. It's not typically seen that way because if you swing pit with that shield, you're a lot less safer. I guess you can kind of make the pushes a little bit more dynamic in a way.
He just broke his teammate's shield. You know, if there's a way to start a comeback, that's one of them.
That
destroy your own utility by jumping on it. Definitely makes things easier.
No.
I mean, that may be what we look back on and say, what in God's name is Sweet doing? Now, it might be. It could be inconsequential, but we'll have to remains to be seen as the attack's going to be going for Attic. There's nothing to stop them from doing so. That wall's going to be opened. Ace charge is going to be it's going to be the most trivial way to open it. It's actually the first time there hasn't been like a bar or anything on the wall, so the Maverick doesn't even have to waste time getting that. So Ridgewood's actually going to have a lot easier of a time here. I mean, JCP, I kind of hyped them up for being a team that forces you to work for it, but I mean, this round is the complete opposite. This is just as easy as it's going to get. There's going to be that electric call on the generator wall, which they struggled with so mightily, but either way, at the end of the day, they still actually managed to open up that generator wall late in the round. So it's only an added benefit that the Mavericks can play, even though the Mavericks on tower right now, he's not actually going to be in position to help with that generator wall, but definitely going to be the point of contention here. That generator wall being opened is probably going to decide this one here. As Classical's playing close and doesn't really have floor holes for impact tricking, so that's probably not going to happen. So I'm curious what the end game is for Jesuit here, JCP, as they, again, I mean, there's just no, the roam pressure is just not the same. It's not the same energy that we saw from the earlier rounds.
Yeah, the pressure is just kind of loose, I'd say, just in general. I think the playstyle has been loose. You can also see Reed. He's been an on and off playmaker inside of meeting. He's got his eyes focused elsewhere though. Not looking behind him. As you can see, bullets will fly, drones will also spot him out, and Resync is going to be forced out of there. There is no Nomad air jab, so he could safely make his way onto the flank, but he's not going to. Fried, instead of dying on a window, will get a kill from a window. It's going to be all the way over in Master. Nade comes soaring. It's uncooked, though. Prey should be able to get away in time, as Fried kills his own teammate! Wait, what? Fried will get praised regardless, and it's going to be 3 versus 2. So, wow, Jesuit got a team shield down. Ridgewood got a team kill. Reed's gonna take down Aram. If that's the one that wins on the map, I will be very upset because that nade was that killed. That nade killed the player underneath.
Holy crap!
That is mind blowing. You can see Fried will take down his triple kill here. He's going explosive as Fried will take down his 4th. Ridgewood are starting to make a comeback, and this 4K might just escalate that. And it might just send us to OT. One more round. That's all they need. Ridgewood need one more round. They were down 6-2, and they're on attack. How does it work out like that?
Well, it starts by jumping on your, belly flopping and on your shield. Doesn't help.
Yeah, that's what won them the round. Right
And
there. I'm just kidding. Not really. Kind of.
It definitely. I mean, the player Attic, and we saw he has 1 HP when that sledge swung there in the last killer. He took a lot of damage in Attic.
It's the butterfly effect.
I mean, it's like I think they're letting their emotions get to him a little bit. Maybe need a reset. They'd probably love it if they could take a timeout right now. Unfortunately for them, if someone leaves, we're just gonna hit that pause timer on the cussing game. I love that.
I love that. That's amazing.
But I'm not gonna give them any ideas. If someone disconnects, obviously not a legit recall. Anyway, we've got ourselves a basic defense here for JCP. This is the one that could potentially take map number 1 for them. It could be the one that begins the beginning of a really painful choke. Again, a 6-2 lead that has just evaporated so far. But it's been on, I would say, off sites. I mean, the first round that was won to start the comeback. I mean, on dining. Hey, it's dining. You lose kids the way they lost just then. People flopping on shields and I mean, he just fried everybody. He took them, he dipped them in the batter, and he fried them. It's starting to get a little, the momentum's starting to shift quite a bit, and I think you can notice it in the playstyle for JCP. They're not really playing it as aggressively as they played it when they were up in rounds, when they were coming off that 4-2 half on attack. It's just a totally different team, it seems like. Playing a lot more reserved. And they're kind of letting Ridgewood take what they want to take, and again, it's kind of costing them here. I'm hoping they're able to mentally reset and close out the map, but I'm also hoping we get some OT here. Bunker is going to be another easy take for the attack here. No one really playing here, other than Praise here in elbow. But Praise has had himself some struggles, to say the least, on smoke.
Well, we'll talk about struggle. Let's talk about nades. Talk about Praise's nades. Jeez, oh my.
Yeah, he's like 0 from 30 for 3 nades. And I mean, with the shotgun, he can't even hit the layups with the shotgun. It seems like playing close. I mean, so it's gonna have to change. I think Praise needs to be looked at here as, speaking of hitting their shots from 3 classical from way downtown, is going to eliminate Shadow. That's the Maverick. That's before he's able to Mav trick Mav and shoot the mute jammer. So without that, might be a problem for the attack to deal with here. I mean, Fried still has his grenades, but he's not really interested in pushing into bunkers. So it's looking like that wall's going to stay hard for now. And that's kind of a problem, because that kind of makes this a lot harder to make this freezer take work. As ARAM's going to find Reed, that's one of the heroes for JCP taken out. His Shoes is going to find himself in a pickle as well. Lost a lot of HP. The ace going to swing through. But again, somehow Raven, despite not having that eastern wall, that elbow wall open, he's still going to be able to just push through. Volpe going to eliminate Praise. Again, the struggles continue for Praise, and the attack is somehow going to take Pillars, going to take through Freezer as well, and it's just classical here. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it work. He's got one, but he's got to find 3 more, and he's not on the HP to do it. A headshot from Raven and a power round from Raven is going to take us to overtime.
Whenever you say like 6-2, they need 4 rounds to win OT or to get into OT, that's kind of a blanket statement. You don't expect that to actually happen on Oregon Attack when you're down 2-4 and it turns into a 2-6. But that's just exactly what happened. Ridgewood just took 4 rounds in a row on Oregon Attack, and they'll have to go back to Oregon Attack again. We were up 6-2, and Jesuit looked like monsters, and all of a sudden Ridgewood have just taken all of that back. They've nullified everything that Jesuit have been doing up to this point, and now we're in OT, baby. How does that happen? Just that is mind-blowing. But yeah, you have to wonder if Ridgewood are on the advantage while they're on attack. Their momentum is all just going into that attack. If they can win this attack, this might just be wraps. Jesuit cannot find themselves landing on their feet on this defense so far, because they're just losing way too many players by the time Ridgewood start to push. Everyone on Jesuit dies before Ridgewood even actually get a site push going. That's dangerous. That is absolutely dangerous. You never want to have a site defense not go your way because you have a man deficit, because your entire team has basically given their lives up early game. We're going to be seeing another TCSG ripped out here. Actually, King Bro has been running the AUG, but a TCSG nonetheless ripped out here. That is going to be your Goyo. Now, Goyo is extremely powerful because he has essentially 2 deployable shields to play behind. That can be mind-blowingly good. And once you rotate out, you can just take the Goyos out. And you can make it a disadvantage for the attack. That can be really, really game-winning if a Goyo is played really well. Classical is currently on 17 kills, so expect nothing but the best for him in terms of those playmaking moves. Well, let's see if he can do it all the way on OT. We're up to round number 13, OT round 1.
And I was just about to call it. Resync was finally going for the aggression.
Whoa!
And it's going to not pay off for him. His praise is just instantly eliminated on elbow as well. I don't know what happened to JCP. I don't know if an argument started or something, but it's almost inexplicable. Nothing that was working for them in the first 8 rounds is working now, as they're staring down the barrel, potentially blowing a 6-2 lead here. They're in a 3 versus 5, and most importantly, their LeBron James Classical is alive. And these shields are in live as well. They're in play. But as I say that, King Bro is going to be down. Raven's going to be finished off by Classical, and this push from the Wamai of ARM almost pays off, but he's eliminated, and I mean, my goodness. I don't even believe what I'm watching, to be honest with you.
Me
Feels
neither.
like a simulation. They're just melting. They're melting so quickly. My brain melted. I couldn't even call it. The roam from Reed just not working. It worked before, not working this time. And other than Classical, I mean, the rest of the team's just, I mean, they're just not finding anything.
A roam would definitely help if your site players were able to hold site.
I mean, that was almost unbelievable. I mean, they just walked up and
IQ Commando versus a shotgun. And the IQ
shield.
Commando. And a shield and 2 ADSs.
He didn't even clear the shield. They just said, hey, it's praise. Swing. And unfortunately, that's kind of what's happening here. Praise is...
My head kind of hurts.
I mean, he's your site player. It's kind of a problem. I mean, I don't mean call anyone out. When your site player is getting blooded like that early on, especially on elbow, it's almost unwinnable. That can happen here. But it doesn't really matter. It has happened. Ridgewood has successfully started the 60 comeback and are looking to finish it here. They just need 1 defense to do it. And one thing that's been true for sure here. The attack has been dominant in this game. We can say that. I mean, whether it's up to tradition or not, it's been pretty attacker favored overall for both teams. So
you almost gotta wonder if it goes all the way back to that Jackal ban.
I'm wondering because I mean JCV's the only team that's taking advantage of it, right? They're playing aggressive on the roam for the most part, at least when they have success. But my goodness.
Yeah, the reason why I say this is because all 4 hard breachers are up. So it's just unreal. Even though all 4 hard breaches are up, you don't expect. Oh, whoa! What? Huh?
Well, that's the way to get the momentum back. An absolute deletion on the Cade playing filler. I mean, shout out. I mean, the only thing you can say at that point is nice shot. I mean,
nah, you gotta control delete after that one.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to hit the all chat button. Oh my goodness.
You talk about generation esports. That man just got shot back like 3 generations.
Yeah. So I mean, speaking of that, the man who did it is just gonna push right through. Reed has done this before. He's pushed right through the site door multiple times. He's gonna do it here. The leans might give away his push here. He's gonna lurk up here on the ARM, who's been shot in the back before. He's not gonna look the right way. Turn around, Reed. Turn around. What? Like past 2 different players. I don't believe what I'm watching. He's gonna find Wolfie, but my goodness, he didn't turn around. He didn't turn around, and it's gonna allow his team to just get fried on the elbow wall. If you can believe it. Ridgewood in a 3-2 advantage now. Classical still very much at play. The man's on an 18 bomb Tom as we speak, but he's gonna have to go nucleosis here. ARAM and Raven both on. I mean, that's pretty good damage. I mean, to be tagged at for someone who's holding an ARX. I imagine that's a pretty quick body shot kill for both of those players. And given, I mean, Ridgewood has had trouble with spatially holding, I mean, clearly having trouble with holding things down. So, I mean, it's possible for the attack to win this 2 versus 3, but it's going to have to start quickly here. Flashbang is going to come out from the Zofia, or stun grenade, rather. Flashes. The Jaeger going to finish her off regardless. And it's just classical in a 1 versus 3. If there was any way for this game to end, it would be a 1 versus 3 to force round 15, but it's a tall task. 40 seconds to do it. Defender's not giving him anything. And I mean, Ridgewood, my goodness. The comeback is real. Shot's going to fly in. Not going to finish off the Jaeger. Neither player going to finish each other off. And Raven's just going to go for the ego challenge. Ridgewood is going to successfully complete a 6-2 comeback. If you can believe it. Because I sure can't.
Ridgewood had 6 rounds to make it happen.
6 rounds.
They had 6 rounds to make it happen. And Jesuit needed 1. They needed 1 round. And they didn't make it work.
All he had to do was turn around.
You just gotta make it work. All you had to do was
turn around, Ash. Turn around.
Every minute I fall.
Like literally just turn around. And it's 7-7. And he would have murdered 2 different players. Instead, I mean, got one. Oh my god, he's gonna be kicking himself when he watches that back. And he had himself a game, and look at this. It started with a 3K on the trophy door. He just evaporated.
Just see all the musical. I'm in honest shock. That Jesuit had literally everything going for them. They had defense. They had the momentum moving in to the second half. They had Ridgewood on their knees. Ridgewood looked like they were lost. Ridgewood looked like they had no idea what to do next. And then they just turned on the boosters.
Was that the moment? Classical getting fried there. Was that the moment?
That
I was like, hey, Classical finally lost a gunfight.
It could have been that could have been the one. Shoes just threw his desk across the room. He was just so done.
Yeah, I mean that's just. I mean, wow. It's almost. I have to rub my eyes because I'm telling you, I called Ridgewood. It's getting beat strategically. They're getting beat. Gunfights are getting beat. Everything. But they willed together that comeback. I mean, Reed, is that Reed sync or is that Buelo? You know?
That was a beautiful shot.
But it's just, I mean, talking about Reed sync. It was Reed sync and Classical. They both had themselves a hell of a game. No way around it. But I mean, just wasn't enough to close out that. I mean, it's almost painful, you know? But before we go into the second map and before we get any further, I do want to thank our sponsor, Zaxby's. One of my favorite chicken joints, actually. I used to live in Tennessee. I love me some Zaxby's, but Zaxby's is a proud sponsor of the HSEL League. No need to hit pause because Zaxby's will actually, deliver to you while watching this lovely HSEL series. You just need to order online at Zaxby's.com, and you can choose whether, if you want to, walk away and pick it up, or if you want to get it delivered, you can do that. But my goodness, speechless, really. Honestly.
Have you ever seen a Nomad vault into attic window? Exactly.
That's the crazy thing. Okay. It's just, I mean, that was the most ridiculous Oregon game I've probably ever witnessed.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. In my casting days, at least. Maybe there have been crazier Oregon games played in terms of me casting them. That's up there. That's an instant classic. But man, what map were you going to next? Actually, I'm so
So we're gonna be going to Consulate once we're actually done with this break, because me and Cookies need a breather because of what just happened. But Consulate's gonna be up next, and I don't know what to expect. Don't look at me like I know what to expect. We're gonna see another Jackal Band probably here or there. Someone else belly flopping on top of a shield, and Ash going in with one eye closed. Call him Ty. We're gonna be going to we're gonna be going to a break. And we'll be back very shortly with map number 2 of Consulate. It's going to be it's already been quite an interesting series here between Jesuit and Ridgewood. But let's see if it gets even more interesting. I mean, you can just gamble on it. It basically is going to be probably one of the most weird consulates that we've ever seen so far. But
yeah, someone's going to come back from 6th, though, obviously. So
they're gonna come back with like 3 players. It's just been an interesting game so far.
We'll go to a break. We'll see. We'll see y'all then.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an inexplicable comeback there from Ridgewood to take Oregon for their first map in this best of 5 series, we're now going to be moving on to Consulate, a map that is way more interesting than Oregon, and this could develop into what could be a way more closer game than we expected. It went from 6-2 to 6-8, and in a heartbeat. Jesuit just looked completely lost on Oregon, even though they had the defensive side. We're going to be moving on to Consulate, a very strong Nomad map, and we have been seeing the Nomad plays have just been working out so well for, I believe it was Classical and Jesuit, or you know what I mean.
We know.
So this is one of those maps where Nomad really does reign supreme if it hasn't already on Oregon. I'm Jasmine. This is Cookies to take us through map number 2. What an interesting Oregon that we saw. What a comeback. Once in a lifetime, basically.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, I probably will never see that again, because you just don't see teams find a way to lose just about every defense when they need to win one. After win, that map is almost like in another cosmos. It has to be another universe, because that just does not happen. You never see that in Oregon. Maybe we're gonna see it in the coming year. Maybe that's something that's gonna be the thing. Attacker-sided Oregons like that. But
Imagine.
I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet my horse on it. So Consulate, though, I mean, if we're going to Consulate, which, like you said, it's an infinitely more what the heck are we gonna see type map. It's not as predictable as Oregon. It's not as readable as Oregon. It's not Shield Team 6 on defense. It's not as why did I just turn to a cyborg?
You have the Valley Curse.
Yeah. So I was gonna make a joke, but I can't make it. It's not appropriate. So we're gonna be going to the game here in a couple seconds. Caster, start the game. We will.
We're trying.
Map number 2 here, Consulate. Ridgewood versus JCP or Jesuit or Jesuit Penny. That's the funniest high school name ever. Well, not funny, but you know what I mean. It's fun to play with. It's fun to say.
Probably watching this, just like screaming in his chair right now. Like,
or you make fun of our name. It's just, I mean, I imagine there's a reason they go by JCP. Typically, I imagine the kid, the guys at school,
I'm a 2000s kid. I'm gonna say JC Penney.
Speaking of that, I mean, this is an all-male school, JCP actually. So I said guys at school. That was not insensitive. It's actually, they're actually an all-male school. So regardless of male or female, the one thing that has been banned are the male and female seal operators. Blackbeard and Valkyrie going to be taken off the board. Honestly, pretty common on Consulate. We don't want a window-licking Blackbeard, and we don't want a Valkyrie that's Z-pinging, especially between these two teams. They're maniacal, both of them. Thatcher has been, a 99.99999% ban across every league ever. So that's not surprising. In the Aruni, I'm surprised they banned that, because Aruni didn't really have a lot of success last map, honestly. I mean, really, there was probably like one round that was won with the Aruni. Most of them are just, otherwise it was just dominant. I mean, whoever played it, and it was just nobody really had any success with it. It was just kind of dealt with ease. So, question is, will it make a difference here on Garage? We're going to be seeing the mirror come out. We're actually not going to see the smoke. Interestingly enough, for a Garage defense, that's problematic. I'll just tell you that right off the jump, because those plants can get pretty trivial when you don't have to worry about a smoke launching his bombs from halfway across the map. Those Maestro cameras are going to be a lot easier to deal with, given the Jaeger nerf, and especially given that I'm going to have a Jaeger. So plant denial is very weak here already. So, I mean, is the question, I mean, JCP, I kind of harped on it last map. Are they going to play into their, I guess, their strength and actually roaming and actually playing to deny map control? Are they going to play this a lot more passively? And this operator lineup indicates a lot of passiveness.
This is literally the map where smoke is like probably the
Almost required, right? So,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
they have 4 C4s, I will say, but I mean, if Fried doesn't get fried, off rip here, he's actually able to start sledging that floor. It's almost impossible. I mean, almost impossible. With these two teams, nothing's impossible. Let me just get that out of the way.
We've seen a lot today.
It's pretty difficult to cross in front of that white man area to go to C4. It's not something you can just yeet like a smoke grenade, right? So they're relying on that pretty heavily. They're relying on the Maestro cameras pretty heavily to actually be able to throw the C4s off of any actual information. So hoping it works out for them as the attack here. They're going to have a lot to work with. The Ace, the Habana, a lot of hard reach, and a lot of flank denial. The Nomad going unbanned.
What am I looking at?
Coconut, bruh.
What is happening?
This Electric Claw is... I mean, the thing is, this is a cute Electric Claw when you have a Jaeger or something. That shield's going to be blown up almost.
It doesn't even cover the wall. What?
Yeah,
What is this?
They gotta hit the driver a little more.
Oh, what is this, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just gonna make the drone ult. That's just gonna disappear immediately. That only really works when you have, the.
No, that just doesn't work.
You need the soft destruction denial rather, but I mean it's just. Yeah, it could work. When we call things, typically, we're wrong. You know that?
Volpe is not taking advantage of the fact that you can open hatches with 4 pellets and has instead used 12 pellets when he could have just used 8.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm very angry about that.
He doesn't seem to care, and that's actually kind of interesting. This is a map with a lot of hatches, and I don't know if they've actually reinforced. They have reinforced these hatches, I believe, to an extent. As Reed's just speaking of Visa, he's just sitting here in Visa. They haven't actually dealt with them. This was something where Ridgewood, again, they had trouble when JCP actually decided to, defend, to actually defend on a roam type strategy. They struggle with clearing, and he's going to be a problem in the later portions of the round. Just kidding. He's not going to be a problem. Eliminated already by Fried. I guess he went for that flank a little too early. ARAM going to be taken out by the Mira, probably playing on that. Or actually, no, I'm just kidding. That's the Goyo. Goyo actually pushed up to the drone hole in the garage. Fried hasn't necessarily cleared that angle yet. He's still just sitting here, daring someone to kill him. But are they going to actually do it? I mean, the sledge is not actually seemingly concerned with him. He's more concerned with that Electric Claw shield combo, which, again, it's not really protected by anything. So,
yeah, and that is why the shield combo does not work out, and that is why I was talking smack about that. So now you can. Oh no! So you've got the Z ping on that Goyo. He's gonna fall very quickly here, and that's gonna be Fried to take down his second kill. So Ridgewood have gotten quite the start here, not even having to push the site, and they've gotten so much control. Then again, Praise is still alive, and he's still got Miras sitting right behind the. Or sitting right inside of cafeteria, so he could use that. Could be like the you can't shoot those. That could be the comeback sort of play, but raggedy shoes all on a 1 versus 4 can't even do it. Ridgewood are going to take round number 1 here, and so far, good stuff from them. Jesuit just getting completely droned out there, in general, and you're wondering why I'm favoring Ridgewood is because they're winning.
You said it. Hey, Ridgewood.
Wow.
Ridgewood
are winning.
It has been a. It has been a. I don't think Ridgewood has lost a round in quite a while. Which is, I mean, like I said, when you're down 6-2 and you did it on this winning streak that they're on. It's almost inexplicable. But, I mean, JCP's going to have answers. You're going to have to find answers. Because Reedsink, I mean, he went further roam. He's been the roaming guy for JCP. But, I mean, that last round, I mean, seemed like he was just kind of pushing down that Visa hallway maybe a little bit too early. It was an easy kill for Fried, an easy kill on a lurking player. And if that continues, if the lack of success, rather, from the roam continues, I'm not sure if JCP's going to match up. It's definitely been... If JCP has to rely on their, I guess the story has definitely been, if they have to rely on their site players, it's going to be a long, hard, painful game. It's been the play of Reedsink and Classic on those flags, those fragging, those roaming operators that have been the recipe for success. That doesn't, I mean, if that's not replicatable at this point, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for JCP.
Alright, so chat wants me to be boring, I think. So I'll be boring from now on. I'm not allowed to make fun of JC Penny's name anymore.
Nice image in my head.
Okay, so alright, I'm gonna ask. Is it Jesuit? Jesuit? Jesuit. Which one is right? Jesuit.
Jesuit.
Jesuit? Okay, that works. Jesuit. Easy. There we go. See? I learned. Jesuit. Okay, alright, so.
Or, you could just say JCP.
I could just say JC.
Fried is eliminated immediately. Or rather, he's going to eliminate Mr. Raggedy Shoes. Why is his name backwards like that? It's like he's trying to give us trouble.
I don't know, that's why your shoes raggedy.
No, that's why he's dead. Because his name's backwards. Can't even. How can you play forwards if your name is backwards?
Whoa!
Is already in a position where, again, he's going to go in for these early challenges. It's been the method for success for JCP. But that's a good start. I mean, he's not even physically there. It's probably a really good pre-place. It's a pretty common alleyway for people to push down that breaker door. But it's not going to matter for much as Praise, again, eliminated early on a site position. There's actually a plant starting on CEO. This is like misdirection to the max. That castle barricade is actually going to play absolutely against the favor of the defense. It's not going to allow them to retake their own site. This is just absolutely devastating, as it's just Reedsink here. Probably in a most dangerous 1 versus 3 of all time. That's a good start. You find Shadow on the ace, but you've got a little pathetic HP to work with here. It's going to take body shots from Raven to eliminate Reedsink and eliminate, I mean, JCP for, I mean, how many consecutive rounds at this point? It's getting almost out of hand for JCP, but they're going to have to gather some momentum here. Ridgewood, again, dominant after that 6-2 deficit on map number 1. And Raven dominant, 5-0 in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, that castle barricade, unfortunately, was just the downfall of Ridgewood, or of Jesuit, because the fact that Ridgewood were able to just vault in, or I guess repel in, and just get into Cubby and go for that plant behind the shield, that's not possible with the door.
I mean,
I understand. I think I understand. I mean, like, it's a weird strategy. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They wanted to cover the window a little bit more safely, but what happens if he just don't?
This is the second time he's done this. Is this deja vu? Shoes. Raggedy Shoes change.
His brain is just backwards.
Just change your binds. I mean, I think he's got like anyway, before he blows himself up. I mean, at this point, that would be the ultimate ending to this one. He just blows himself up. The team loses the rest of the round.
It's like there's always an event that happens that signals the end of the game. It was the shield collapse inside of attic. It's like walking.
Actually.
It's like walking.
We almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was literally
I'm not letting you forget about that.
I'm like, you know what? That is probably going to look back on.
I am not letting you forget that.
Yeah. And
it's
he's
like
doing it again.
The castle barricade's also still there, despite the fact that it didn't work.
It literally actively made them lose.
Yeah,
I mean, we have to also credit the IGLing from Ridgewood to say, hey, these guys just castled a doorway you should never castle. I mean, that castle hasn't been a meta thing since year 1 for a reason. For a very good reason. It's not good.
Wait, it was meta before? I guess it was. Yeah.
There were teams that used
but
to
that was back whenever people brought Tachanka to open up the
it wasn't that. Wall. It was more like year 2 because I remember like Lethal Gaming. Hardcore fans of Siege remember that year 2 pro league team. It's got a strat like this. They'd castle that double door quite a bit. You know, it's just something that's not done anymore. It's just not. I mean, that's also because it's like that only works when you have someone like playing below, like to deny CEO, like a C4 or something like, which isn't the case for JCP. There's no one to deny a plant or a pulse. Like that's typically what you'd see. It's like a pulse, Valkyrie, something. It's not the case. Not here.
It's a double-edged sword because you have safety on what's I guess short desk. What is it called? Front desk. Front desk. You have safety on front desk for shoes to play on, but at the same time you just cannot hold CEO unless you swing, which is exactly what you do if you're on CEO repel. You just hold that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That is the job of a person repelling on that window. And now you just made it easier for him. You can see already opening Frag here. Fried has been doing really good. He was opening killed quite a bit last map, but so far he has been getting the opening kills himself. It's been such a great performance from him. Goyo shield will be popped and Shoes is going to be forced out of his position, or at least forced to play it safe, as the rest of Ridgewood are just on windows. There is no... I believe it was Reed Sync to play nearby and deny anyone coming in from Printer. Everyone else is just safe there because the rest of the defense is stuck on that west side. You can see a player is going to walk up yellow. That's going to be Fried, but he'll get Fried himself. And you can see Abraham is going to show us why the castle barricade doesn't work out here. Volpe's going to take down 2 kills as it's all up to a 4 versus 1, and Raven will take down Shoes. Ridgewood will take round number 3. And this is the second time that this this defense has not worked out. The second time we've seen this castle barricade fail Jesuit to an extent. Will they learn from their mistakes? As both of these teams have in general. It seems like both teams know how to adapt, but they're just too afraid to do so. They'll be going into Archives Tellers, so that's a weird adaptation. But we're going to be seeing a set of 4 C4s brought out here with a Pulse. We were talking about the Pulse, but Pulse's pick rate is definitely skyrocketed whenever it comes to this site specifically.
And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm pretty scared what they're going to do with the castle in this site. Because it's just Castle's just one of those operators where he's very polarizing. He can either be extremely good for whatever you're doing, and it's just genius. And whenever you come up with the castle strat, it's like, wow, you're a genius, man. That's the greatest castle strat of all time. But it can also be one of those operators where it's like, what in God's green earth are you doing putting castle barricades here in this spot? But this site, I guess it's a little easier. You castle the windows, you kind of prevent people from just rushing into Visa and hopping in the windows, right? It's not it's not as easy to do, and especially that hallway there, you just saw the mirror go down there. It's actually a pretty decent mirror. You put it on the right, or rather, a decent castle barricade. If you put it on the right side where he put that mirror in office, on that double door, it makes sense, right? But I'm just wondering if it's going to impede their movement a bit. I mean, we see that's also pretty decent as well. So it's not.
That's a good one.
I'm looking at where they're putting the castles because, like I said, it's like you can almost directly attribute those first 2 round losses on that top 4 at least to this castle barricade. That just makes no sense. So at least in the way that they're playing it. So this round is hopefully not going to get in their way as much. Volpe going to instantly open that Visa double door, pretty classical stuff, I would say, as he's going to push in through there. Edgy Magic feels classical. Who did that?
Well, classical doesn't actually play Ash, so joke's on you.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Joke's on me. So I'm wondering where the rest of the attack is, though, as other than our friend there, Volpe, on Visa, the rest of the team seems to be pushing in from the yellow stairs, trying to work their way around this defense. There's mirrors below, obviously denying a direct push to the garage. So that's just straight up not going to happen unless ARAM here goes for this hatch, which is interestingly enough left soft by the defense. That's going to allow for a lot of pressure to be honestly placed onto any sort of defense being set up in kitchen and offices, especially. You can actually wallbang that mirror from that hatch. Or rather, not necessarily from that hatch, but from the floor and piano. You can just kind of span the floor and shoot. So
Reed Sync, on the other hand, with the UMP 1.5x, interestingly enough, I love that site so much, especially in the ump at least. That ump needs like a better site, but it works. Regardless, Reedsink, he's been a powerful player here no matter what role he's been stuck on, and he's been kind of allowed to go for these aggressive plays. No trade coming out just yet as he's swinging into Z/bench/Zig, I heard it called before. There's a lot that Reedsink could be doing at this position, obviously because he's the one player without C4. He's going to take advantage of his gun. He's going to swing as much as he can and add pressure a little bit early on while the rest of Jesuit stay behind and add pressure late. But you can see the rest of the pressure is kind of coming back on them. Ridgewood are going to start to get themselves into pipes, and Reedsink is just going to hold down Mouse 1 and take down ARAM. All of a sudden, Ridgewood have lost 2 players to Reedsink's up, and he might even lose a 3rd. Swings coming out here. Reedsink is not holding back, but the player bottom spiral, he actually sees the pulse as well. Fry has a very important kill that could go his way, and he'll take down the pulse. It's a 3 versus 2. Fried has gotten himself inside his server as well, and as long as he doesn't get crossfired, well, he will. It's going to be 2 versus 2. Praised and classical. That was a powerful play. The pulse is gone.
Yeah, like they're just gonna plant no info. The pulse being dead. I mean, that's a heck of a. It had to be a Mozzie drone, I imagine, that allowed him to just do that. But Volpe here, yes, bulletproof. He just didn't kill the bulletproof.
Wow, that is unlucky.
But it's gonna be a 1 versus 1 though. Classical is in a position where he's actually getting Z-pinged by some sort of attacking drone, and it's gonna allow Volpe to go for this 1 versus 1. You should just go for it. You're not gonna be able to stick this plant. He's going to try to bait out Classical into a potential early push, but it's not going to happen. He's actually going to be able to get this fight. Classical going to push up at the end of the day, but he had a Z-ping.
You got to commit to one or the other. That was... Volpe was getting a little bit too stressed out. He wanted to get him into post-play, understandably, but you got to start that early. He decided he was going to go for the kill, and then Classical fell back, and he's like, "Nah, I'm done. I'm just gonna plant. I'm gonna make him come to me." No, I can go for the and so much is running through his mind all at once, and you commit to one or the other. That is just how you do that. Even if it's the wrong decision, you commit to one or the other, or it's gonna be just rough on that end. You just have to commit, and Volpe did not do it. Volpe did not do it.
Free pro tip here. You have
Cookies
the info
R6.
If you have
PL.
the info,
Let's see it.
if you have the info on someone in a 1 versus 1, you go for the kill.
Yeah.
If you have info on him and he's in a position, let's say like 20, like it obviously, like in that scenario, it's pretty obvious. The Ash is a 3-speed. The guy's in lobby. He's in Visa hallway. That's an easy, that's a trivial run at him and pre-fire him, right? That's a fight you take every day, any day of the week. He has the speed. You have the info, like we saw the Z-ping. Just go for it. There's no reason to try to, because he's like Classical's not a dummy, right? I mean, especially if you hit tab there and it's Classical you're in a 1 versus 1 against. He's not a dummy, right? Playing probably the best of anyone in this lobby. You take the 1 on the guy. He's not gonna, if he has any brain, he's not gonna run at you before there's zeros on the clock, right? He's just gonna wait for you to do what he did and start that plant and not have enough time, right? So it's always better to take that 1 when you know where the person is, at least. Fortunately for JCP, that wasn't the case. Or rather, for Ridgewood, it wasn't the case. So they're going to go to the basement again here. We're going to see the same elaborate Goyo and electric claw. Which, I mean, again, it works a lot better when you have to, 1, prevent them from going in.
We're seeing an adaptation take place.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you can't let them go in from above, right? So that they can just toss the nade down. You also have to have enough grenade to mount on the wall itself, so that the shield doesn't just blow up immediately. I do see the Jaeger now, so that should make it easier. They're not going to just be able to roll a grenade through the drone hole, I imagine. But again, it's the issue with this shield.
They're not done just yet.
Oh.
Give them a sec. Give them a sec. They're gonna
Imagine
do
if
it.
the attack just rushes here. Remember when we'd see like the thermite rushes back in the day?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that was fun.
Again, the hardcore fans remember when Vitality did that. Someone got blown up on the wall, I think.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
it was
Invitational 2018, I believe. Long time ago, but yeah, I mean, Jasmine's pretty popular. He's in the crowd at Invitation.
Oh, say less. Say less.
It's ARAM blown to Africa here. I'm not sure he actually got a pellet off, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't able. I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry, that was bad.
The electric claws in play here are actually gonna. We saw actually Ridgewood had a lot of success with that circle hatch. they were able to drop into sight and actually push what was already a really bad defense in terms of plant denial, push them back even further into lockers. So this is an interesting adjustment for JCP, if you want to call it one. Being able to kill that Habana, being able to electrify these hatches, it's going to make it a lot harder for Ridgewood, and Ridgewood's going to have to make it work. There's a roamer above as well that hasn't been dealt with. This wasn't a top-down clear that we typically see, so that roamer is going to be at large throughout the round, assuming his timing is right, as Fried is going to start working that floor. Probably dealt with the Goyo shield already, and the ace charges, decimating that wall, turning it into sliced cheddar. So question is that vertical play going to be enough? Is that roamer going to flank the right time?
Yep, 57 seconds left right now, and ReedSync is going to take down Volpe. So we talked about ReedSync and how powerful he can be. He's just gotten 3 frags. I wouldn't say for free. He got himself traded, but that's just quite enough. Shadow's going to go for a smoke plant right on the white van, and no one's going to notice it. What is he doing? He just runs into Classical, who's going to knife down the planter, and Raven is left in a 1 versus 2. Nobody was covering anyone inside of the site. Everyone was just above looking for their picks. Meanwhile, Shadow said, I'm going to go plant, and Classical's going to steal the round for Jesuit. How does that happen? Wait, what?
Body in a body.
Is the Classical play from Classical, as Ridgewood are just, they're falling apart at the seams right now. That is a very interesting plant attempt from Shadow. I'm thinking that's a communication issue. I feel like Shadow went in for that, unless they had their idea was to cover from above, which can be really difficult because obviously you basically only hold one portion of that downstairs. Basically, whatever you're holding above, it's like you have that split second where if you don't get the kill, that player just rushes up to your diffuser. It's like
our diffuser's been dropped.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened.
That's pretty much what happened. You're right, and it's also like, I mean, ReedSync died. He died for a 1-for-1, but it's like, I imagine that brief moment, that brief little lapse where it's like, flank, flank, everyone's screaming and whatever. How many times has she...
No way. No way. This is the 3rd time.
How many times?
I feel like is this deja vu?
I'm just figuring out, I'm trying to figure out what causes that phenomenon, to be honest. Does he have it on his mouse? Does he have it on his...
Castle barricade, normal. Possibly on CEO door. Is this deja vu? Sorry, I'm done with the deja vu jokes.
We have to. I mean, the people that are committing the deja vu right now are 0-9. This castle has not worked ever, and Shoes has not had any trouble as he's struggled to put this C4 down.
Wait, where is the castle? Is the castle barricade on the door again? I actually don't know if it's. Is it actually?
Pretty sure it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go over this.
Well, let's see.
I think we need to go. Oh my god! All right, let's go over this. I think we need to. I'm gonna break a little bit of professionalism here because I need you all to understand. I am breaking the 3rd wall right now. The 4th wall. Sorry, I'm breaking the 4th wall right now. Okay. The reason why you don't put a castle barricade on that door is because you cannot hold CEO from there. Ridgewood has attacked this twice and won it twice because of that castle barricade. Stop putting the castle barricade on that door.
All you have to do is drone yellow stairs and see that, the guy isn't going to hit that shot on someone repelling in. And then, they take that fight because it's, I mean, that's as good as a 50-50 as it gets. You swing in and avoid the yellow stairs with your pistol out or something, and then no one shoots you because it's castled. No one's going to shoot you from back or anything, so you just pull your pistol out, run in, and kill somebody who's not looking at you because it's a freebie. And I imagine that's going to happen again. Shoes! Welcome to the match, buddy. 1-4. His first one is Fried, and that's huge because Fried has actually been the leader in opening duels throughout this map, at least. He's going to be eliminated by a man who hasn't had any success at all. That's good for Shoes, for himself. He's going to have a lot of momentum for himself personally, and he's going to have a lot to work with here to shut down an admin push. Honestly, what's worse, the fact that they do this split push. We saw it before, actually, where they have 2 players go admin and the other 3 just repel and see you for free because of that castle barricade. But I'm wondering if this is even necessary. Like I said, it's like that castle barricade makes it so easy for you as Reed's actually going to run right outside and eliminate A-Ramp. Just playing near this doorway. Apparently no air jab ever came out. Apparently. And Volpe and Shadow here are just going to be the only ones here on the side of the map. That's 2 quick kills that are completely unnecessary. Someone running on a Claymore, and Shoes just playing a little too aggressively here, and it's turned it into a winnable situation. The Ace can open that projector wall, but Volpe is going to be shut down by Mr. King, bro. It was looking like some momentum could be clawed back. It's now been, well, snuffed out and erased. The Ace is going to have to find 3, and he doesn't even have the diffuser. It's outside on another map. It's in another universe. And the defenders have rotated accordingly. So, not looking likely, but again, we've seen crazier things in this series, I would say. So, a 1 versus 3 is not even out of the ordinary. Shotgun is going to create a crossfire. It's going to allow Shadow to go for a pre-fire. I mean, that's interesting.
Oh.
Great, you don't need to do it. It's a 1 versus 2, but there's not a lot of time left. Another player looking to challenge from the yellow stairs, missing his shots, but he's going to rotate away, and Shadow is kind of flailing the wind here with the hip fire. The steady aim pro is going to absolutely eliminate Reed, but King Bro is across the universe. Not really in a position where he's going to lose this round for his team. JCP is... I mean, they've totally reversed the momentum. 3 in a row for our Texans here.
Texas. So that's the first time that defense actually worked out for Jesuit. But don't get me wrong, that castle barricade still should not be there.
It shouldn't. I mean, that round had nothing to do with... I mean, they never even got to the CR repel.
Exactly.
We
so
saw
don't
2 players...
Don't mistake that for the castle barricade working.
Yeah, don't think that's
it did
a
not.
good... I'm telling you right now. Okay, so... They ran out of that yellow door, which, I mean, with the nomad up, should literally never happen. I think half a team got pieced out there, trying to repel on CEO or other. So, we also saw Fried.
XPL player Cookies, who played for Motivate and Ronin, is the one that has to tell you that castle barricade does not work. Please heed his advice.
I mean, you should
Just take it, man.
That barricade should... I mean, it should be like... You should learn that rank that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, they gonna learn today. They won that defense. I wonder if that's like, it's like giving them the confirmation bias. Like, well, that castle makes them repel or something. And I run out. So it works. But, I mean, I would never agree with that castle. We see the Visa hatches being reinforced, and it's kind of important because the Habana, when it's been brought, you know, can actually open a lot of hatches there. It's going to allow like a lot of, you know, hot and drop action, but there is no Habana. Just Ace. So if they wanted to play for, you know, hatches or anything, it's not a possibility. And Ridgewood is playing a more traditional basement defense than we saw from JCP. It's a lot more, you know, smoke. You know, this is almost like a mix of like a year 1 and year 2 type defense with like the new operators, Cade and Lucy. So
Yeah,
pretty basic, but it's, you know, it's pretty serviceable. That's kind of, you know, it's kind of strong against everything. I guess that makes sense. So
there's no flaw in this defense. There's no failing. It's like it depends on you at this point.
no,
This
like,
defense is pretty solid.
It's not like
it all comes down to player skill, and the rest of Jesuit are going to start to drone out the top floor, and they're going to take advantage of their vertical holes as they should. Last time what we saw from Ridgewood was that they kind of got themselves in and played way too much on the vertical holes. They relied on the vertical holes quite literally to take them throughout the entire game, or throughout the entire round. But you can see already the rest of Jesuit are going to break that trend. They're going to be going already to the garage wall to try and open that up and try and get themselves established there. Crazy is going to find the electric claw and assist King Bro in order to open that up. He is the only hard breacher, but he shouldn't have any issues as he'll immediately get his Selmas onto the wall and open them up. So the next step here for Jesuit is to maybe try and find an opening pick. You can hear C4 ripped in the distance. That's already a lot of utility burn. Take a kill for it as well. Reedsing is going to take down Fried there. I don't even think he was on vertical. That was literally just a pick all the way over from Visa. I think, was that into cafeteria? It's possible that was all the way into cafeteria, but regardless, it's an opening pick nonetheless here, as the rest you can see of Jesuit are just wasting no time. Shoes is peeking a very aggressive angle right now. I think he knows that white's completely clear, and he sees a player. He's not going to shoot, though. He has 2 players trapped inside a locker right now, or lockers, because they can't get through that doorway. But now his location is known, and Ridgewood might just start to pin him on the yellow stairs.
Shoes would have a lot more success if he would just fix his... It seems like he's having trouble with his binds. We saw the C4 issue earlier. It looks like he's finally going to find that kill, though. and ARAM going to be taken out as well, as Ridgewood has officially lost it.
Oh.
At least for the time being. It's a 1 versus 5. Ulpi in no position to do much of anything. This is a garage post plant 1 versus 5. Honestly, Ridgewood, other than those 2 freebies on the CEO, I mean, we harp on the castle that was being brought. Other than those 2 rounds, it's been pretty effective play, to say the least, from JCP. They just need to throw that castle strat in the garbage, because otherwise, playing a pretty strong consulate here, up 4-3. And I mean, we talked about that defense. It's a solid lineup. It's by all means not, impeccable, though. I mean, it's like, I imagine, someone should probably be roaming there so that the attack, I mean, again, it's kind of like a story of Ridgewood just lets them do what they want defensively. And with the exception of someone like ARAM, there's no real clapback. So, interestingly enough, I didn't even notice it. He's going to stick to that Vigil, actually. So, I mean, the Vigil is actually, we saw it in Oregon from ARAM. It was kind of the adjustment they needed to work themselves into a position where they're able to contest Jesuit or JCP, on the entry points on those power positions, like, on the roam. So, I imagine you're going to expect that from ARAM. He's probably not going to play site for Vigil. And it's going to allow the team to potentially, not get run through there on that basement defense. So, I'm curious to see how that one goes.
You see a very powerful Maestro camera deployed. It's very typical that, I think this is, it's technically the Macy J Maestro cam. I think he's the one that kind of popularized it, but a little bit of a history lesson. It's placed under the white van because it is such a technically, it is quite literally specific to this map. Basically, the castle strategy on the top floor. I just wanted to make that one guy in chat really mad that I'm talking about the castle strategy. But the thing about that Maestro camera, it literally only works on this map because it's placed under the white van at an angle where you cannot shoot it because the street outside of the garage door is angled upwards. And you cannot shoot it at that point. You have to get close to it in order to get rid of it with explosives or get above. It is such a technicality. You can see Reedsync is gonna run right into the waiting arms of that Vigil. He's gonna swing him, and oh my goodness, Reedsync! A beauty of a shot to take down ARAM, putting him down into the dirt. And Jesuit are gonna start with an opening frag that sends Ridgewood shockwaves. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The fact that that just worked is crazy. He wasn't even droned in. He just walked in.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks if you're ARAM there. You had the play, but Reedsync just folded you like an omelet. So, it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, that's a very low HP Ash, and that's a very low HP Reedsync. Most importantly, that's a man who's been on a mission throughout this series. So for him to be on low HP, it's a draw. Let's just call it that. So the vertical play is going to start nonetheless. I mean, that's the roamer gone, so they're able to do this for free. But it's not free when the players can shoot back through the floor. Praise down through the floor is going to allow, again, another low HP player to be just in the mix here, and Kingbro eliminated as well. This is suddenly winnable for the defense. The Cade now is in a position where he can hit the room because, I mean, there's a lot of dead players. And Malusi here testing the defense here, testing the defense of the attack, the attack's flank watch, rather. So, it's not going to be a good test. He's going to be eliminated, which was kind of unnecessary. He didn't need to do anything, especially since the Cade is actually on the 3rd floor as well. So, whether that is an opening that they're able to exploit is something to be determined. I'm not sure if Shoes knows where he's hearing the sound from, so he's probably going to allow this. It's going to allow for this Cade to actually push down.
Shadow
is anyone going to watch this? Classical gets a kill through the floor. The Cade not going to find anyone. Classical going to get tased to death by that evil eye,
Shadow.
which is huge. That's delaying this, but Shadow is not concerned with that slay.
Shadow, he's an anti-chamber.
He's concerned with the plant being denied, which he's going to do.
Wait. Shadow just...
Remember? Turn around. We don't have to turn around
my-
here.
Oh my
We stop
God.
plants. We don't turn around.
Oh, he just did not care. He was out for blood. He just wanted to defuse. He just wanted that diffuser. He was hunting. How does that happen? How do Jesuit lose because Praise didn't turn around every now and then? How? That just
Every now, I mean, literally, just turn around. But I mean,
it just blows my mind. Oh no.
I wonder what
No, no, no,
what
no, no.
FOVs we're dealing with in this lobby, because
That
this
man is
point,
on like
it's like
45. Like there's just
he's
no
on
way.
console FOV. I mean,
He's
at the
on
end of the
he's
day,
on the 4x scope.
at the end of the day, most importantly, the man stopped the plant, so we cannot hate.
Oh yeah.
But you just, I mean, you just gotta wonder, is the 5460 the FOV? So, regardless, we're back to CEO. Heroics from our friend. Gonna be enough to allow his team to go to CEO. A little bit of momentum. And no castle. They're gonna play this normally. And I think that's gonna allow them, it's gonna allow them a lot of freedom here to, you know, actually peek around that long desk and deal with people, you know, who are repelling in through the windows.
Cookies, do you live on the eastern side of the US?
No.
Oh really?
West. West Coast, best coast.
Dude, there are feet of snow outside right now. It's crazy.
And you haven't disconnected yet? That's a good thing.
I mean, it's really mind-boggling actually. I should be just like out of here. There actually is so much. It is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I used to live in Colorado. It's pretty. It used to get kind of funny. There's like, I look at my Twitter. There's like videos of my dog playing in the snow. It's pretty adorable. Snow is just something else, and this is why it's nice to have that angle open. That Maestro is going to be a problem in that bathroom. If Classical wants to go for a gutsy repel, he's gonna have himself a tall task. As Reed again,
doesn't matter.
He's gonna win.
Is just crazy.
He's gonna win this opening duel with no HP against Aram. I mean, Aram's probably slamming the desk at this point. Can't seem to get a good lucky shot onto this man to end him, and doesn't matter. Shoes is going to be taken out. That's huge because that's actually the Zofia for projector. That actually could impact a lot how this is held. And Raven, I mean, whether he goes for it or not, is it nomadic potentially? Not sure, actually.
Well, what I can say what matters is Classical and Resync just have this on lock. If Classical can actually get into Spiral, even though he's on Repel right now, if he can maybe get up to Spiral, they could be set up for a really good push because everyone is focused on the other side of the map. You have one player on yellow, just completely focused up on that. Resync, he's got to be careful. Raven's trying to swing this, but the Melusi and the Barbed Wire are going to get cleared off of one of Ash's charges. Fried's going to take down Praise, however. That is a huge kill right now, as so much intel's coming out here. Resync is going to lose a bit of HP for his troubles, but won't lose a breach charge at the most. He's able to push up on the shield completely for free, but then again, Classical is also fallen off of Spiral, so Resync's going to have to watch his back there, despite the fact that most of Ridgewood are just positioned in and around the site. Drone's going to drone out Raven, and that's going to allow for the rest of Jesuit to get it push going. They know exactly where that one player inside a projector is at, and while the holes are opened up on the projector wall, getting inside of the site is your first step at that point. And if they're able to clear out Raven by any means, this could be really good, but he's going to be holding firm. Flashbang's coming out through pre-fire. That'll be actually Volpe to take down Classical as he's holding the angle all the way over from Bathroom. So yes, that Bathroom angle is a problem. Volpe will take down a second, and Fried will take it all down as Raven gets absolutely 0 kills off of that position. He was just there for the bait. Ridgewood are going to fight back here. They're going to take a round, a much needed one. As Jesuit, we're starting to pile rounds on top of Ridgewood. Ridgewood are going to start to fight back at that.
Yeah, that's fortunately for that attack there. I'm surprised they never actually brought the ace over to open that projector wall. Curiously enough, maybe he was dead or something. Maybe he was. I mean, they opened the wall like on the top of the vista stairs, which, it's pretty common, so that someone can't swing out. We saw the Melusi was trying to swing out, but because that wall was open, she didn't. But we didn't see the wall open. Like I said, I don't want to say classical wall, but the classic push there for a projector is to simply I mean, usually it was Habana where you would just open the, prone hole so no one could sit behind the bomb and projector and you could actually work your way inside. You can actually challenge the back to Bengal or just run past it without worrying about a player projector. But what was lacking there is the ace, I mean, which should, in theory, make that easier. It should be easier to smoke it, especially since they put a shield there to actually make it harder for you to, I mean, like it's harder for someone to just shoot the ace charges off, right? So it's like, that should be a trivial, we toss a sum on it, we sit in the copy room, and we just deny projector, we smoke it off, we plant, right? It's never happened at any point there, which is interesting. So maybe, I don't know if it's more like JCP or Ridgewood there that should get the credit for that defense working, but regardless, we're on lobby. We're on a different site. Life goes on.
I think this is our first actual lobby hold here, so I'm gonna see how Jesuit plays around this. It seems like they're taking the have ReedSync walk in, destroy, eat up, just chew away everyone, and he's not gonna do it this round.
This time, ARAM wins.
He's got it. He's got it under lock there. That's actually a massive frag. As much as we're kind of making fun of it, that is a really big frag. ReedSync has been their entry player. He has been getting so much done here, and he might be able to get another. Jesuit want to get in from admin, but ARAM is currently a thorn in their side, quite literally. Upside down rappel, not working out for either end. As Jesuit is actually going to lose another player. Praise on the rappel, upside down. He should win that. A third kill for ARAM. He'll take down Shoes, and he's just holding firm. No one has responded to this. He won't find a fourth, but the damage has most certainly been done. Classical will go down here to Fried. It's all up to King Bro in a 4 versus 1. And what can he do at this point? He has lost it. It's going to be Ridgewood to take us possibly to map number 3 as we move on to match point. Jesuit, no response yet. Let's see if they can try and climb this back, because they absolutely need it to keep themselves alive in their series, unless they want to have to go through a reverse sweep.
Which they very much can. We saw it from last map. They very much can. This is nothing. 2 rounds is nothing compared to
They're actually just doing this on purpose. They want the reverse sweep to happen.
Yeah, this is just to make everything more exciting, So it's all in the plan. I mean, ARAM. Aaron. Aaron, my man. He finally won that opening duel on ReedSync, and it's just a true story of victory and championship for that man to eliminate ReedSync on that open duel. Because I talked about it a lot last map and keep talking about it. ReedSync has been a monster on the entry. He's been a monster as the spearhead for his attacking, for his team on attack. Throughout the series. So when he's eliminated, it definitely can be felt. And you saw, the rest of the Jesuit players just, they kind of looked lost in the sauce without their spearhead in there. We saw Classical. He just kind of, at his point, his play is just jump and projector at that point. The whole admin push revolved around ReedSync. For ARAM to deal with him, it's a power move. And they're going to have to deal with ARAM again here on this basement defense, where again we saw ReedSync versus ARAM. It went in favor of ReedSync barely. You saw that epic flick, that epic trade.
That man was quite literally Marc-Andre Fleury on the 2009 Pittsburgh Penguins. Absolutely crazy numbers from him. He was just keeping admin as his. There was just nothing stopping him at all. But
he's gonna have to do it again.
He's gonna do it again. He's back in the net. Let's see what happens. This is gonna be interesting. An interesting mirror person as well here from Fried. That is. I could see that kind of working. I don't know. It feels a little bit out of the ordinary.
Mirror on Garage is always like whatever. That's why you always see teams like put him in the bathroom, the whole bathroom. Which Rich was not doing. They're really relying on ARAM here. Classical just gonna swing in.
Oh my god!
You can't swing in on ARAM.
Classical.
Have you lost your mind? When ARAM's an admin.
This is ARAM. It is Mark spelled backwards, without the C, obviously. He's gonna look for another frag. He is thirsty. I almost had it. He's actually okay. So he's making a very smart move. Obviously, he made a play very last round, but instead he's gonna decide to play it safe. and go all the way back around. I do like it though. It adds a little bit of unpredictability as he's going to be swinging from Coffin instead of from Admin, but Reetsink currently has his drone locked down here. If ARAM doesn't expect this, which I don't think he will, to be quite honest, well, the default cam's going to spot him out.
Wow,
Shot's going to fly through the projector wall, but nothing's going to get found just yet. I think that ARAM has actually managed to rotate all the way back downstairs.
Yeah.
Where's he? He just disappeared.
He impacted the hatch and ran away.
Wow,
you know
that
what?
is,
ARAM,
that's crazy.
That was the best show we've seen all day, buddy. Because you know what? There's a lot of people who would have tried to lurk around there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, and he just actually got away. I mean, that's actually something you see from, like, more from, like, Tier 1 players. I see Challenger League players screw around with that one a lot. But he actually escaped properly. That's very commendable. Player Pipes there is going to find himself in a pickle, though, as Sledge is going to likely work on that hole in that position. It's going to force the defenders back a little bit. And again, ARAM has rotated all the way back to site, so there's no real threat of a flank, at least. That's what you think. Shadow is going to take this one on Reetsink here. The question is, who's going to fire first? Ooh. Shadow. We're going to eliminate Reetsink. ARAM's going to head up Spiral as well. The wheels are starting to fall off this attack here, 3 versus 5, and it's the 3 that quite literally don't really lead the way for Jesuit. It's been mostly the Reetsink Classical show when the team does have really success here.
Would you call it a Reetsink Classic?
It's a Reetsink Classic. So either way, I mean, Praise is in like he's gonna plant, but he's not sure what he wants to do. There's a Wamidus there. His feet are getting tased. His ACL's getting tased. The Maestro camera hasn't even been dealt with. And there's 15 seconds left. The swing gonna come through from Fried, and that might be all she wrote. The plant's gonna start, but it's not gonna matter for much. King Bro in a 1 versus 5 eliminated, and Ridgewood, against all odds, is going to take 2 maps in a row where, honestly, it looked like their momentum was dead in the water, but they just find a way to just take control of these games against JCP. That's 2 maps in a row where it's just been robbed from them, seems like.
It was easy to write off Ridgewood on map 1 of Oregon. Whenever they just started to screw around a little bit on that upstairs defense, it was really easy to write them off. But it has turned around significantly. Ridgewood are up 2-0 off of an incredible play of ARAM to lead the momentum for them. That is absolutely incredible. The fact that I have seen that is just... This game has been really interesting. It's been riding on the coattails of a lot of plays. I mean, there's no other way to say it. If you are a playmaker in this game, you are winning this game. It might be the plays to take Ridgewood to that 3-0. It quite literally might be. Jesuit haven't responded. They don't have a lot of Classical and Reetsink going off like crazy.
I mean,
it's kind of like
it's like it really is the Classical Reetsink show at the moment.
Yeah, and when they don't show up, or if they just die, Ridgewood take advantage as they have, and now they're up 2 maps.
Not to mention, I gotta go back to that defense. It's like they spotted Ridgewood 2 rounds. That CEO, whatever you want to call it, that one needs to be thrown in the garbage. It needs to be crumpled up and never ran again. And
you're not even wrong. That's
because it's the difference in the game those 2 rounds. I mean, those rounds are just played normally. I mean, we could be looking at a totally different series. And now, I mean, you're going down 2-0, and you're playing against a team that's clearly hot on the gunfights. I mean, going into Coastline, by the way, let me remind you, we're going to Coastline, and Ridgewood is shooting different. Coastline's not a map where you want to play where the other team's shooting different. Trust me, that's not what you want to do. So
absolutely not.
I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for JCP, but they have got to have more going for them than Classical. And it's just they got to, or it's gonna be
literally if Classical and if Classical and Reetsink don't get like a 5-4-3K every single round, you might as well write the round off. That is really concerning.
Yeah,
they are they are stellar players, but if you don't have a team to work with them, I mean, we can go back all the way to a consulate attack where I think it was Shadow. No, it was someone. I can't remember who, but they ran in for the plant, and there was no coverage. You know why? Because your main fraggers were dead. You cannot have that excuse where you just lose rounds because your main fraggers have died off. It doesn't work like that. that is a severe and easy way to bottleneck your team and send them away if you have 2 good players and 3 players that can't put up anything. I hate to be the guy that sounds like I'm ripping on these players. They're probably excellent. They're probably just having a bad game, but you can't have a bad game in a best of 5 grand final. Something needs to be done. These 2 players need their backup because they have 3 more maps to go, and going on to Coastline where every single kill matters, where there are no such things as kills that don't matter, it's the map to do it. That is your map to do it. So, transitioning over, I'm gonna sell out for a second. So, transitioning over to our hashtag ad is gonna be Asus, who have also, by the way, awesome products. I'm pretty sure I actually have an Asus graphics card in my PC. So the Asus ROG Tough. I didn't screw that up. The ROG Tough. It's the hardware sponsor of HSEL. They have some cool sponsors, don't they?
They really do.
It also is the sponsor of the Fall Major, which I believe is this one.
It is.
I might be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong. So they're pretty well known. I don't think I need to say anything about the quality of their products. Please make sure to check them out. All the high school esports leagues, most elite teams have been using them to their advantage. So maybe you could pick up a monitor or two to send your game into to turn to classical.
I have a Asus monitor right here. This is what I'm using right here. You know what? I use it in Pro League. I was a pro with this monitor. If you
3 years ago,
you want to be a pro. You know, I went from copper to diamond using this monitor. This Asus VG 248QE 144 Hz.
This man became Yellow's teammate with that Asus monitor.
I never had problems seeing people. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that right now. Get yourself an Asus monitor. And get yourselves ready for Coastline map number 3 right after this break.
At Zaxby's, we've got a simple formula for delicious chicken. What goes down hand-breaded comes up golden brown. Try our world-famous chicken fingers on the Big Zax Snack or the Kickin' Chicken Sandwich. Only at Zaxby's.
We're back. We're back for map number 3. We're back for the classical. I almost just said Deer Peak. Where did that come from? I'm Jazzman. This is Cookies, and we've got map number 3 coming at us. Coastline, the Playmakers map. There's a lot of cards to deal on this one. There's so much that can happen, and there's a lot of skepticism going into this. Ridgewood are up 2-0 in very dominant fashion, and Jesuit have got 3 players that they're not having the best game, which happens. I mean, it happens to the best of us, but. Can't be losing it out on a grand final. We'll be going to Cafe up next, actually, as Coastline is not the map, but Cafe actually kind of functions almost in the same way. So excuse me, I that was my mistake, but in general, Cafe works in the same way. Because
I think I said Coastlines.
I was hoping it was Coastline. I would love to see Coastline.
I was hoping.
But
either way, it's a map where you're right. It's got to be more than a 2-man effort. Especially on a map where you need to rely on, and all these maps have been maps where you need to rely on your support players, your site players. It's not even really a question of like, oh, I need to hit my frags. It's just kind of like, you know, I want to kind of not dumb it down, but you know what I mean. Hopefully, you know what I mean. It's kind of like you want it to be more than just your fraggers doing things, because when it comes down to your support players needing to come big, that's their moment, right? That's their moment to be able to shoot people and actually be able to shoot back, not be dying on the diffuser, right? When you have those moments, or dying, tossing a smoke, or dying in a 1 versus 5, when you have those winnable 3 versus 4s, those winnable whatevers, you got to be able to win them. And so far, it's been Ridgewood coming out on top of those, because Ridgewood is better, at least through 2 maps, top to bottom, player to player. So it's got to be a different story here in Cafe here.
Yeah, and Cafe, I think even more than any of the maps that we've seen, somewhat Oregon kind of relies on how your utility is placed, but Cafe is purely players, soldiers, how your players interact. And whenever it comes to the way that Jesuit played, they're probably going to be playing in a way where they have roamers, and then the rest they have site players. Those site players, if they die out, there is no falling back. Rotating back into sites in Cafe, retaking Cafe sites, you'll find it to be very difficult if you have the right attacking setup. So it's do or die here for Jesuit on Cafe. Ridgewood have the defense. It's a very advantageous side on this map. Let's see if they can take it on map number 3 as Ridgewood. We'll start out by banning Thatcher, a very common ban here. Jesuit has been a little bit more interesting. They've banned Jackal and I believe Blackbeard so far, so God knows what could come up next. Or I guess, I don't know if they banned Blackbeard, but it's going to be Jackal again. They just do not like that Jackal, apparently.
I mean, I think that Jackal would actually simplify things to an extent that JSP would not want to deal with. Because let me tell you right now, if Ridgewood is able to just tee off with Jackal pings, this would have been over a long time ago. So forcing them to actually drone is helping them, but it's still, you know, like I said, it's kind of coming up short in the end of the day anyway. Even though that's kind of what JCP has had the most success with overall. It's definitely going to, I don't know. I mean, in a map like Cafe, like we see those top-down clears coming through. Maybe that Jackal on that top-down clear is something they don't want to deal with. But either way, they're going to have to contest the entry points that obviously Ridgewood's going to go for when Ridgewood actually attacks. But Ridgewood's going to be defending first. And Ridgewood's going to be defending first without a Malusi as well. No Mira. We're not going to see any crazy Mira strats on the third floor all the way, you know, with sight lines all the way across the piano. Nothing crazy. But we are going to be seeing that Arunian and Oryx. So maybe that's...
What?
Maybe that's crazy.
That is quite the intrigue. I'm not sure about that Oryx. That is... Huh. We'll see how it works out, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to be used for, but regardless, it'll be coming out. Legion's actually game picked. So another T5 operator. I'm interested in general, actually, of the Legion picks. I'm seeing a lot of Legion on this map. He's not as strong as he used to be. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened to him. I know the biggest change to him is that his goo mines now no longer do initial damage. So basically, if you step on a goo, you actually don't lose your HP immediately. You have to take it out, or if you don't take it out, then you start to lose HP. So it's like one of those things where you still have to deal with it, but you have extra time before you take damage.
It's not as
and it also does less damage per tick.
Yeah, so the attrition factor.
Right.
Like you notice how like on the one of the best things I like about the new Spectator, it's like you see little red ticks come off people and they take damage, right? Definitely not as extreme. Like, people aren't, you know, walking around chunked at 60 HP, you know, just because Legion's on the board. Which, it was very much a thing back in the day. I did not like that patch. Whenever it was Ying and Legion came out, I forget what it's called.
Blood Orchid. Yeah.
Blood Orchid was one of the most absurd patches of all time, and it was because of that Legion.
Yeah, the operators were kind of messed up. That was also pre-patch Ella. Oh my god, that was pre-patch Ella.
It was just not fun to enter the building, but it's definitely more reserved now. Even if you add in like,
oh my god,
world in what?
Oh my god,
that's
what?
Tragic for Jake. I mean, it's like more of the same. ARAM is kind of going ham on them right now, and
what the heck?
That's not what you want to see going into this map. That's kind of what you wanted to not see, because it's been the story that's kind of cost JCP, and it's continuing here on map 3, unfortunately.
I am actually shocked, as that was really interesting. ARAM gets away with a double kill, and King Bro also falls as well. Or sorry, Shoes Raggedy also falls as well. Well, that actually worked, and I am very shocked about that. 2 versus 4, and you can already see Jesuit are starting to stress out a little bit here. Rooney Gate's going to be cleared out here by Reed Sync, but swings are coming out here. Fried playing on what is known as Shaiko spot. He's going to rotate away for his own safety to try and keep himself alive just for a little bit longer. Flashbang is going to be caught by the Womai. As the rest of Jesuits start to initiate what should be their push. Nomad is just going to come on the perfect time here, as Raven's flank will get denied by that, and another air jab will come out here. It's our 2 playmaking players. It's 2 benefactors of what can win entire rounds. It's Reed Sync and Classical left in a 3 versus 2. If there's anyone that you want, I know this line is cliche, but if there's anything that you want, if there's anyone that you want to win this round for you, this 3 versus 2 as it turns into a 2 versus 2, as Reed Sync takes down his double kill. He's going to lock onto the header shadow, but can't find the kill. ADS is going to, Flashbang is also going to clear the Aruni Gate to allow the rest of Jesuit to push in. on a 2 versus 2. This has become extremely winnable with 50 seconds left. And an Ash and a Classical.
And honestly, Reedsink's just going to take this fight. He's going to instantly lose it, though. Kind of got heat checked there by Volpe. And this is a 1 versus 2. I mean, honestly, he just went sprinting down the white hole and said, and then died. So, I mean, Classical downs Volpe, though. This is a winnable 1 versus 1 here. Is Shadow going to actually put himself in a position where he's going to be finished off? He's actually going to go for the down player. He's going to kill himself about 10 seconds here going for this down player. Hitting the Legion Mines that we talked about. It's going to cost him some time, but not any health. Shadow just needs to wait out 10 seconds here as he actually runs through, I believe, another Aruni gate. He's going to push right up to the new balcony. Looking the wrong way on ADS. Shadow, what in the world?
Shadow just stared at a wall. He had the sound call and everything.
He had the default. He had everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Shadow, my man, do you need a map?
That is...
Unfortunately, he's... I don't know. I'm not sure what he was thinking there, but it's going to be a 1 versus 2 regardless for my man Classical, who's, again, he's played a hell of a series. Even though it's not showing on the map side of things. A lot of these rounds, JCP's won has just pretty much been attributed to Classical and Mr. Reedsink. So, unfortunately, I mean, that's just... Shadow, my man. Just ADS, brother.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Just ADS. This isn't CS. You can aim. One of the great things about Siege. But they're going to go for it again. I mean, we're going back to the same site. I mean, call me Sally, but I think there's... Was there a Mozzie before?
No.
So that's a new one. It's going to make this a little bit harder to drone, but I mean...
I love Mozzie.
I mean, you almost feel sad that ARAM, I mean, that 2K just meant nothing.
I did talk about how there are no such thing as impactless frags on Coastline. It's a little bit of a different story here on Cafe. Cafe is what it's like. I guess it's your common siege map. It is your siegiest siege map. It's like Clubhouse when it first came out with the rework. ARAM, he's got an idea, and I think King Bro is hopefully wise about this one, and he knows about it. He'll dodge the bullets here from ARAM and keep himself alive. A very important operator to stay alive. He is the only hard breach available so far in this round for a Jesuit. So, great that he's able to stay in this match for now. As typical stuff here so far from Jesuit. A little bit of an atypical strategy being brought out by Ridgewood as they have their Legion deep inside of Piano. Now, this can work out. Granted, you have a crossfire, but there is no crossfire. It's both fried. Or actually, well, if fried backs up, what is Shadow doing? Shadow's making a play right now, and he's gonna have to be very careful. As if there's new bout control, which there isn't, he would have gotten killed and punished for his actions. But it's early into the round. He won't find anything. No one will find him. But back to the discussion. Ridgewood, they can hold down the cigar/piano if they have an established crossfire. If Fried plays a little bit more reserved, instead of, you can see him right now in Shaiko, that's a very reserved spot because he can't get shot from the Skylight, nor can he get shot from the Nubalk. As he gets shot from the Nubalk. Huh. Well, usually, if you play close to the wall, you cannot get shot from there. But Fried actually did swing out a little bit. You can see that his grave mark is just out on Nubalk. And there's no drone work going on? What? Hello, Jesuit. There's a player sitting inside a piano. ARAM is going to be able to get a freebie here onto Reedsink. That's going to be a refrag. And he's still alive behind the reception desk. He'll get traded out, however, by Classical, who's going to get himself into piano. Despite the missed drone, at least it's going to be a trade.
I mean, it's a heck of a shot from Classical there to win that fight in the Legion. Even the pre-fire Legion, doesn't matter. But a bigger task here is that they're dealing with a freezer wall that is electric clawed. He's going to be able to open that bathroom wall, but it's going to be hard pressed to be an angle that can actually deal with someone like, I don't know, Volpe here playing under that doorway right to Cigar. It's going to be a push coming through from White, though, as there doesn't seem to be anyone home on the White stairs. It's actually going to allow Jesuit to actually push up here and establish a lot of control here, put the pressure on Raven. But I guess the question is, where in the world is Shadow in all of this? He's below as Bandit, not really playing the white stairs. It's just, I mean, just look at where Shoes is. Just established full control here. He's actually going to take it out by Raven, and I don't think he checked his angles. Classical doesn't look in freezer. It's going to allow Volpe to take an easy kill, and Shadow could rotate up the white stairs any minute now. Kingbro,
hello?
he's able to find, for a moment I thought he wasn't going to shoot. Praise is going to find Raven, and again, Shadow, where is he? Where is Shadow at? C4 onto nothing in particular, and he's across the universe now. An easy 1 versus 2 now for the attack. They just need to watch. They hear the nomads going off. They just need to watch this side of the map, which is pretty much just a one lane circumstance here. Freezer wall's not open, so he's not going to find any angles there. Gonna have to just work his way through the wide open bar here, and I imagine the attack's holding it. No, they're actually holding it really passively, but we're already halfway through this diffuser timer with only 17 seconds and counting left. I'm not sure if Shadow's going to be able to make this one happen. He's going to have to defuse and find 2, and he won't find anyone. It's, I just got to wonder, what the heck? Where was he?
Yeah, he didn't seem like he had much of an impact on the round. I think he wanted to go for that late game play where he was C4ing on the default plant, but I mean, if it's a 2v1 and your last player's offsite, who's going to plant default? And for what reason? I
mean, it's more like if you're playing for that. I mean, again, hey guys, pro tips here, free coaching here. If you're going to play below with C4, you should probably have info, and that info should not be a default camera. I mean, they could have done a default camera up still, but unless you're like running, like if there's a Mozzie that can see the entire site, which I doubt it, that would take a hell of a Mozzie drone. You should probably just rotate up and play for a C, because you can C4, like we saw, like let's say if they plant trash, which is right under the skylight near the the bar doors, that's a C4 you can throw from the 3rd floor. You don't have to be on the 1st floor to throw that, to hit that C4 on that default. You just don't have to be. So it just doesn't make any sense for you to risk throwing a. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much a Hail Mary. Like, let's be real, that night show is a Hail Mary. That was just kind of like, I hope he's here, not I know he's here. So always throw. If you're gonna go for that play, go for a C4 that actually you have info on it. Otherwise, help your team. Help your team.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I mean,
2-0.
in general, that entire site was just a 4 versus 5 because Shadow wasn't present. I wouldn't say, honestly, I wouldn't even say that's the reason why they lost the round, but it definitely didn't help at all. And the rest of Ridgewood, I mean, fact of the matter is, Jesuit didn't drone much of anything that round, but Ridgewood were so split up. There were so many gaps in their defense, and they were so split up that Jesuit were just able to take one-on-one gunfights constantly and just hammer away at Ridgewood's defense that way. That allowed for the rest of Jesuit to just get themselves inside of the site, and obviously you can see where Shadow's positioning came back to bite them. So far, so good for Jesuit. A really attacker-sided game in general is going to keep itself in that trend pattern, as Shadow's going to take down 2 drones as he's just getting completely infoed out by the rest of Jesuit. You're going to see a player off in the distance as ReedSync drop down into pillars. Shoes is going to take down, or is going to locate Shadow, and ReedSync might just be the nail in the coffin. Yes, he will. A headshot right into the head of the Roman Jaeger takes him down, and resistance is nowhere to be found. That is a freebie if I've ever seen one. Ridgewood are down a man, and Praise is going to be able to start doing work on the vertical holes. And for what?
We hyped up ARAM's roam. At least I did. ARAM played a really nasty Vigi, played a really nasty roam in Consulate and on Oregon. And here we are on a map where, I mean, honestly, Shadow so far has not had a good start. Really. I would say it makes way more sense to have ARAM there on that roam there, because he seems to have a better grasp on when to fall back. I mean, Shadow is just sticking around way too long there. And it's going to allow the attack here to kind of get an easy 4 versus 5 with a lot of vertical pressure to work with. And speaking of that, it's going to be a 3 versus 5 as Classical is going to find Volpe and Raven going to find ReedSync as well. Leaving the attack favoring here with a minute to go and pretty much all the control they need. The Whiskey control, the top floor control. Question is, where's the final push going to come through at?
Jesuit have gotten themselves above, but like you said, they're gonna have to start focusing on what they actually want to do here. If they can't get rid of, well, I was gonna say if they can't get rid of Raven and ARAM, this might just be troublesome because you can see Raven and ARAM are just doing fine as Praise dies through his own vertical holes here. Shoes is gonna start to go in for the double push, but you gotta smoke inside a bunker. There's no picks happening on the side of Jesuit that they supremely need. ARAM will take down Shoes. He's gonna go for a third as he's gotten himself to contest double doors. And if he can do it again, this round just could be over. It might just be. ARAM takes down his third. He's gonna look for his fourth, and he'll get it. Just not get it though, as King Bro actually lives through that. And a 3 versus 1 ensues. In general, Ridgewood are gonna take that one. So much positioning error there from Jesuit as they just wasted a lot of time, and Ridgewood will take advantage of that beautiful positioning from them. Great stuff all in that area. They were just able to lock down so many corridors and get so many frags that quite honestly they should have been punished for. ARAM should have been punished immediately after that kill on double, but he was able to just take 2 1v1 gunfights on double doors with a head glitch, if you want to call it that, and win his angles. Really unfortunate push there from Jesuit. Not pressuring Ridgewood too much inside of the site. And round number 3 is going to fall for Ridgewood as they take their first round in Cafe.
It's ARAM is kind of like he's kind of like a really good slice of pizza, you know, like you keep eating it and it keeps getting better and better until you've eaten the whole pizza. Maybe that's just me.
Nah, it's not. That's why I'm overweight.
Right? It's like this man, what I'm getting at is it's almost like the longer the game goes on, the better he gets. This series. It kind of started out, I was kind of like, I couldn't really decide like who was the standout player for Ridgewood, but ARAM has definitely kind of risen above the water, I guess, as real standout player. Seems like maybe they're listening in or something. Man's gonna be on Vigil again because I'm telling you, his roam is one of the more clear paths to success for Ridgewood. And they're looking to see it here on the Vigil. I mean, Vigil's honestly not the best pick for this site, to be completely real with you. I mean, it's for reasons like we saw literally the last time they played this site and lost it in those dying moments, because Vigil can't do much. Its flanks are pretty obvious. Like, you know, if he's Vigil up red, it's pretty obvious. And if you're playing Christmas, it's like most of these spots, like if someone repels, like let's say on that south window, it's, you know, he's in plain sight. You know, he's not like, can't hide from a repelling player upside down, right, or anything like that. So kind of difficult to get a little mileage out of Vigil, comparatively at least. And I guess the thing is, ARAM has been going for this run out almost every round. That's what he's gonna do, but he gets baited by Raggedy Shoes. Raggedy Shoes is playing no games.
That was pretty well played.
Yeah.
That lull is the most painful lull I've seen
he
in
just
a long
straight up
time.
got baited, you know. Like, and he knows. I mean, he's just like, wow. I love to hear his reaction to that. But yeah, I mean, Vigil's the one-for-one artist on this map, if anything, especially on this top 4 site. So, fortunately, not gonna get the one. He's just gonna be it's just gonna be a -1 for Ridgewood here.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, that was unlucky. It worked out one time, but really, really well read there by the Zofia. 4 versus 5 ensues, and there is nobody playing inside of Piano anymore. Shadow's shield is going to get completely destroyed, and he has no option to rotate in through bathroom, so he's going to have to make sure that he's safe on white window, which obviously you can see the window's open, so even if it is safe, he's not going to feel that. Praise gets himself inside as well, and he could possibly take advantage, but no. Shadow's going to be able to get himself on pallets and be safe at least for now. Garbage Wall looking like it's going to be the name of the game for Jesuit, as I think it is soft. Yeah, it's completely soft here. So Garbage Wall will get completely opened up by Jesuit, and they essentially have their post plant ready, but there's a flank! Fried's going to be able to take down 2, and he's going to try and go for the third, but he sprints right into Praise's hands. 3 versus 3, the play that Ridgewood really needed to try and keep himself back in this. Praise is getting swung by it all the way over from heaven, but it's not going to find anything just yet. As 50 seconds remain, the Jesuit have a great entry into the site, but they have to start clearing things out. Volpe's still inside of Freezer. Jesuit are still very vulnerable if they try and go for this. Bathroom Wall is going to get opened up, however. That's going to force Volpe into a position where he can't cover as well. So this is looking pretty even right now. Pretty even until we get a frag. But so far, none of that has happened. And with 30 seconds remaining, and with, I think, no C4s left unless Shadow possibly has something under his shoulder, this could be coming down to a 3v3 gunfight at literally the last second. Praise is going to start to push up here. Classical will take down Volpe, and that's going to allow Praise to get himself in on the rotate. He'll take down Raven. It's a 1 versus 3, and Shadow's the last player remaining. Plant's going to go down here inside of Cocktail, and Shadow, he's not planning on default again, Shadow! Go over to Cocktail for the love of all. But he's not going to be able to do it. Plant is going to go down here by King Bro without contestation. Shadow's not in a what the heck? Shadow's not even in a 1 versus 2 at this point. He's in a 1 versus 3, and everyone is playing safe outside.
It's almost like we've been here before. Fortunately, he's C4ing, you know, nothing in particular again. So he's gonna get that first kill, but I just can't quite understand just the late round positioning there. Is just leaves a lot to be desired. It's your 1 speed. If anything, it's like it makes sense to pre-place that C4 and run back up. But this is like the second time now where we've seen his team like kind of fold there in the final moments when it comes down to just the flood, the last second flood that you talked about, the gunfights occurring under 10 seconds. It's hard for that to go in the favor of the defense when you're just at such a man disadvantage in terms of just raw bodies. There just weren't enough people there, really, fortunately.
Yeah.
Attackers need to
I
locate
don't
and
know.
defuse as many bombs as they
This
can.
has been an interesting game. It'll get a little bit more interesting as mining and dining is going to be the site of choice. Huh. Now, mining and dining is not your third bomb site on this map in most cases. It is usually that reading and dining that has found itself so popular because you can basically hold one site. You can basically hold both sites without actually being inside of them. There's a safe haven inside of a reading room. It's right about at the rotate in laundry, given that Jesuit don't actually push upstairs, which I'm going to assume that they do. So
5 seconds left.
This is an interesting site. They're going back to Old Cafe.
Right, this is like more of a more traditional site that's been in the game since the beginning of time. Mining and dining, it's pretty much, I mean, it's literally just probably one of the more OG sites. You go back and watch year 1 gameplay, that site's going to be featured quite a bit because the bar, the first floor bar, was not fun. Or rather, kitchen was not fun. And, you know, it was mining. It was the place to be. So we're going to be looking at a top-down clear from Jesuit here. I mean, they've managed to kind of stop the bleeding, really, from the past 2 maps. It was really just all Ridgewood, and it's finally starting to look like Jesuit's got something going. But every time I've said that, usually the other team just comes storming back with all the momentum. Fried here, going to peek around and shoot that drone. I mean, surprising. Players in the skylight must have looked away at the wrong moment. Could have potentially caught Fried. But Fried's just going to run away anyway because that cocktail presence isn't critical here. This site is played pretty heavily around Christmas given how the vertical play works, how the layout of the map works. Aram, the champion of opening duels, is going to start his heroic battle against the attackers here, but I mean, it's going to be Raven actually to find the first kill on the Praise, and Aram is still unaccounted for. Reed's just not going to check the bar because this man is just he's a slippery snake. He's able to find his way around a bunch of attackers here, and it's actually going to allow his team to be in a favorable 5 versus 3 here.
So this team is going to push up as Fried is on the floor. He's going to hit the deck, and it's not going to work out for anyone. So Aram's still alive, though. He's in a very interesting position here. This is one of those positions where if he gets a kill, he's gonna get refragged, but he's gonna push up. Is anyone any of the wiser? Abraham is gonna take down Classical. He's trying to go for a second, but he can't do it. Shoes is gonna live through that. King Bro might not though. Abraham's taking a lot of damage, and the SMG-12 is whipped out, and it takes the 1 fight. Abraham's gonna go for 4! Oh my word, Aram! He's been the playmaker for Ridgewood, and it's only gonna get better from here. Oh my goodness. Aram has won the round. Absolutely crazy stuff from him.
You know, they said I was pooping on the players. That's why I said A-Ramp should be the roamer.
Man.
I'm not oblivious. There's a reason I like A-Ram. The man should be on the roam. He should be the guy playing C4s from below, if anything. The rest of the players need to sit on site and get on default cams for A-Ram. Because that man, I don't know if it's A-Ram or if it's vertical. Is that vertical or is it A-Ram? The man's looking like I literally, if you blurred out his name, I wouldn't tell the difference. So just an incredible roam yet again from A-Ram. He's on Vigil again, so hopefully we see that again. I mean, I like Shadow, but you know what? I think Cade is more his pace. I think A-Ram, they've switched places here. Last time this first floor defense was perpetuated, it was, Shadow on the Jaeger roaming. Roles are switched around a little bit. Fried's going to be taking over that Jaeger, and of course, like I said, A-Ram is going to be the problem that Jesuit has to deal with. And I mean, that guy, I was talking about earlier. I mean, this is the best of five. That's the beauty of best of five. It's such a long series. It's such a long storyline. Started out with Reed Sync and Classical being like the guys to watch, but I would say A-Ram has rapidly become a hot man in the server, at least so far.
Yeah, Oregon, he was kind of silent, but this has definitely been his map by far. That and even Consulate. Consulate has been beautiful. That is when we first saw the wrath of A-Ram.
Yeah, he's just been heating. He's just been getting better and better as the series has gone along. Which, I mean, that's how you win best of fives. Look at him. His wild habitat. He kills the clock. He kills clocks. He kills players. What doesn't he do? He's
just going off on anyone and everyone.
Why is he question marking? Did he question mark because A-Ram killed a clock? It's a problem.
So, Vigil's gonna just disappear from our screen.
This is all they see.
So wait, do the outlines not show up if you're looking at a drone spectating? I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It does. It's just a rare thing. I mean, usually observers don't spectate drones, so we never really see it.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. I don't want to watch someone droning. So
yeah, very fair point.
Yeah, I mean, it's either way. A-Ram has managed to escape yet again. The man's dodging. Again, if he's able to escape back down, well, it doesn't matter. Friday's actually going to die to Classical, and I don't think A-Ram's in a position where he can run away unless he can kind of piece together where the attackers are. Unfortunately, he's not going to have any luck. No one seems to have any luck with this top-down clear for Ridgewood, but I suppose there is a minute and 30 left. That's time the defense can work with, but I mean, being at a 3 versus 5, that's tough.
See breaching charges coming on here, however, as Ridgewood are going to start to feel a little bit more pressure. As you can see, obviously, as you said, roamers are gone. Electric Claw is gone as well, and so is Praise, but he's done his job. You have to wonder. Shadow, great kill, though. Good way to start off a possible Ridgewood climbing back here as the momentum still in the hands of Jesuit, as Classical is just going off. He'll take down his 3rd kill, and he's not stopping so far. Shoes will fall to Ravenhauer. A 2 versus 3. Jesuit have to eventually convert this into a push, as Classical's trying to go for 4, but he gets killed from the vertical holes of Volpe. Volpe has taken advantage of Sludge's vertical holes, and now it's a 2 versus 2. All of a sudden, Volpe has turned into a playmaker, and Raven is also inside of sight, but they're going to have to retake. We talked about how difficult Cafe retakes can be, and now they're gonna be in one. 40 seconds remaining right now. Raven's gonna catch out King Bro, and all of a sudden Ridgewood have taken this back. Reed doesn't have an angle on the diffuser because it's all the way in bunker. He's gonna have to make a play, and he's not gonna have any time to do it. As soon as Volpe gets on this, if he just starts planning, or if he just starts defusing, there's nothing that Reedsync can do. The hatch is reinforced, and Volpe's just gonna defuse as we all watch along, and nothing will happen of it.
Oh, man.
Oh, the pain as Volpe just solidifies the round there. Ridgewood gonna take that one. That is heartbreaking stuff there. You most certainly. Oh.
Well, it was a 5 versus 3 that they were able to wrestle back without LeBron AA Ram James. They were unable, or rather, they were still able. Excuse me. They were still able to clutch that round at a disadvantage. And now, I mean, Fry thinks he's Pingu. Montaigne on Cafe. This is Just kidding. He's going to play a different shield. I was going to say, because that a Montana Cafe is honestly pretty underrated. I'm surprised we don't see it more often. But my goodness. At least at the lower tiers of play. We see it like T1 from time to time, shield play and cafe, but
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
not
attackers.
really like in the lower tiers, tier 2 or tier 3. Not really something you see 100% too often. So I'm very disappointed he's going BB instead, but you know, you must secure the win. Blackbeard is one way to do that.
This is the first Blackbeard pick that we are seeing in this entire match. It was banned on Consulate. As a little bit of trivia, but in general, it just hasn't been a very popular operator.
I mean, it's because of the meta though, right?
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
I mean, it's like the lineups have been very rigid before this patch that we are currently on at this juncture. Lineups have been really rigid, so when you're able to play something like Blackbeard, like Twitch, like IQ even, it's because you don't have to bring a lot of that soft destruction anymore to have success. And especially considering, I mean, between both these teams, I mean, it hasn't. I mean, we haven't seen any real traces of the old meta have much success in this series, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense to bring something like Blackbeard or Twitch or whatever, even though it's going to be Blackbeard here. Up to bat, he's going to deal with that electric claw with confidence, and it's going to allow his team to kind of work this red take with ease. But yeah, I mean, jeez.
I think it's literally just because they've been able to get around what should be a massive problem, which is the Kaid. It definitely, I don't know why the freezer hatch wasn't open. That basically lost Reed Sync that round, although he could have just rotated down. But in general, the hard breach has just not been very difficult to pull off. So, see the
Actually,
red walls.
I mean, when I think about it, I'm going to defend him a little bit. They used two Selmas on the wall itself to walk in. So they didn't have any to open the hatch.
That is true. But you can also just bring a Habana.
I mean, they've got it now. That's for sure.
It's at least Ridgewood's learning from Jesuit's mistakes. Flashbangs are going to completely blind out Shoes, as ADSs are not enough to burn them. As obviously they only burn one nade at a time now. Shoes is going to swing this, but he doesn't know he has Raven to his close left. He might have just rotated away in perfect time to save his life. But right now, his position is very static. He cannot do anything right now. He is literally stuck in there. If he tries to run down white, he has a risk of looking or aiming his back right at Raven. It's going to be opening pick here for Volpe as Aram is holding down Freezer, trying his best at least. Fried's going to take down Shoes, so that will fall, and piano pressure will be completely alleviated. Now Fried can get himself inside, and the rest of Ridgewood can also start to push in. You can see Raven is in bathroom. King Row will fall to Raven, who I think is on his second kill. Blackbeard will get taken out by Classical, ironically, by a headshot and praise onto Aram. All of a sudden, it's another kill for Classical. Jesuit have taken this round back. It's a 2 versus 2, and Shadow and Volpe are the last two players remaining. They're both playing very passive positions. They aren't involved in the push, so they're going to have to retake all the progress that Ridgewood once had, and you can see it's starting to work out. Volpe will take down Praise. That's a 2 versus 1, but Classical, he's the man with the plan. 12 kills to his name. Can he add 2 more, as he's got a player sitting on the reception desk? He's not going to be able to get the kill there. Volpe instead will. Ridgewood will take round number 7, and Ridgewood will take the lead.
That is just a save from Volpe, that's for sure. Because I'm sure the Ridgewood fans were like, "What the heck are we doing? Our Blackbeard's getting smoked. We have a 4 versus," you know. I mean, but they were able to just wrestle that one back. And I mean, the spread for JCP though. Again, we talked about it. We drilled on it. It's very dominant in favor of just Reed Sync and Classical, but except I think one of them isn't having too strong of a game either. So if I had to use my little crystal ball, I would presume this isn't good for JCP at all. Again, it's just seeming like Ridgewood is coming through more collectively as a team. You know, I was on Shadow's head a little bit. He's had himself some good moments. On the Cade, on that support role. We see the rest of the players again, like Aram is kind of pulling through. Volpe just had himself a good round. Fried, even when he's not doing too well in the KD department, it's like that Blackbeard was obviously very imposing and affected how the defense reacted to things. And Raven's just been solid throughout the series as well. So it's like I can't really say the same thing for JCP is what I'm getting at. I mean, for the most part, other than Redsync and Classical, it's just been kind of, I could honestly forget the performance of the other players at this moment on round 8. Things could change. But if this trend keeps up, it's like Ridgewood just has too much momentum as a team.
Too much momentum. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I don't.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
I'm looking at Redsync right now. you know that Redsync has an idea. Whenever he's on the vigil, just sitting on some random corner of the map.
I mean,
The worst.
my feed died
So-
for a second.
Did it?
Hello, hello. Boobity boobity bop, boobity boop beep.
You here? Are we here? Hello? Are we live? Is this thing on?
I think so.
I hope so.
Because nothing froze for a sec. I think we're good.
I can't. I can't hear the clean feed anymore. It's interesting.
Well, it doesn't matter,
Anyway.
guys, like you can. So, Redsync, boobity boobity bop. He's gonna run around here for support.
Yeah,
you know,
I
'cause
think. Oh, we're good. I think we're good. Okay, wait. Maybe we're not.
'Cause if I just said
Anyway,
boobity
we'll
doobity
be
boop, I
we'll
think
be
they would hear me.
we'll be your sound. I think. I hope. We'll just cast anyway because that's our job. But Raven actually might have an idea of where Redsync is. Classico's gonna get the opening frag here onto ARAM. Pretty unexpected that ARAM is just falling easily like that. Didn't seem like there was much drone work here, but you know Raven, he's on the hunt. But he's wasting so much time that could be, and utility that could be put onto the defense. I'm really confused about that. That is, he might be wasting way too much time. Shadow's going to take down Shoes, however, at the same time. So they're going to clear up Pixel and start to push their way into Piano. Raven has finally fallen off of Redsync's angle, but again, Redsync is still alive and he's lost so much time. So this could be a very influential pick if Redsync, or a very influential player if Redsync can keep himself alive. Minute remaining right now, and Ridgewood are going to start to get that hard breach work done. As you can see, Praise is now going to have to be very safe, as Fry is actually up white. How is he able
White
to
in the
get
fight.
there? Do they know? I hope they
think
know.
so.
He's
Losing
got a,
Or Jaeger.
hopefully he's got a really powerful angle. Shadow, he hasn't, early rounds hasn't been his thing, but right now he's absolutely doing work. Oh no, but Volpe will shut him down as he's had enough of Shadow. It's going to be an unfortunate team kill, and a 3 versus 3 ensues. Diffuser's dropped inside of Bathroom, and they're going to have to recover that at some point. And Praise has gotten himself into Cocktail. How is he allowed to do that? Raven's going to have to retake control of that. Friday will take down Classical and at least get the site under their hands. But again, Diffuser needs to be recovered. Time is being wasted as Praise will take down a second behind the long bar. Raven will get that. It's a 1 versus 1. Between Redsync and Raven. Raven was hunting down Redsync earlier in the round, and now it's going to come to fruition now. Can Redsync take down Raven on this plant? He's got 3 seconds to do it. He sees him on the doorway, and it's an unfortunate way to end the round, but it's exactly how it's going to go. Jesuit will take round number 8, and I think that we are all tied up as a result.
That round was an adventure of a lifetime. That's for sure.
Whew, that was an
It was
interesting
all over the
one.
place. We've
Yeah.
know our feeds exploding. People are coming up white into sight. We got people dropping hatches. We got people drinking at the bar. These guys are in high school. Praise isn't just drinking in the middle of the bar on smoke.
Drinking
he shouldn't
apple
be
juice.
drinking. And then we've got just a 1 versus 1 IQ smack the booty moment where he almost didn't shoot, but he did. It's all over the place. But that's why we're here. That's why we live for this. Really.
Yeah, I mean, this game in general has just been one of those games that just catches you off guard. It's one of those games where it's just like you expect default strategies, and while you get a default setup, you don't get a default playstyle with default positioning. It's been an interesting one to say the least. But it's 4-4. It's a very equal game. In most of these matches, in most of these maps that we've seen so far, one team gets momentum and the other just swings it completely, and there's nothing that the other team can do. This is back and forth. This is completely back and forth. Like nobody here is expected to win. It has just been it's been quite a cluster of strategy and odd positioning and flanks. I mean I'm kind of enjoying it. It's not as coordinated as you'd expect, but I mean whatever you can do to win scholarship money, I guess.
I mean, that's money, you know, down the line.
Oh yeah,
Look
for
back
sure.
on this, you're like, man, 'cause I don't think it's like full ride scholarship money, but it's definitely a type of money where it's like, you know, maybe you can, you know, you can afford like a crazy meal plan where you can just eat all semester, which is a godsend. Trust me, you definitely want that money, that extra money that this is gonna give you. Hopefully, I mean, regardless of who wins today, we see these guys maybe in the college leagues. We see them in college. We see them becoming astronauts, professors, scientists, future scientists, and play here in this. I'm hoping so. I know I'm just giving them. I just set the bar so high, but it's okay. Anyway, Reed Sink, a loose little roam here on the white stairs. He's gonna shoot a little bit of drones and rotate himself down, but it looks like he's actually looking for a challenge here. He's gonna challenge what looks to be the Buck, who hasn't shot the default because he's getting Z-pinged. He's gonna survive. He's gonna get away with the skin of his teeth. Shoot it! Yeah, because he almost got fried because of that, but he lives. Yeah, I didn't even mean to say fried because of that. That just came out. Anyway.
You just realized it?
Speaking of fried, he's going to
my.
decimate Praise, and Reed is going to take a lot of damage himself. Suddenly, Ridgewood, what was looking like it was almost like a Z-ping palooza, has turned into a situation where the defense is on the back foot significantly, the attack having all the vertical pressure that they need. But I've seen this story. A lot of people, or a lot of teams rather, kind of struggle with this push down the stairs, the ending push, really. Kind of capitalizing the ending of the round. Is Volpe's actually solo taking Bakery here? Interestingly enough. It's kind of an answer to the question. It's gonna allow like the rest of these defenders to kind of feel the pressure here. They're thrown on the ground. Y'all are waiting on the ground like dogs waiting, you know, below the stove at dinner time. And Ridgewood's just gonna dominate that round. There was like 3 different players proning there.
Ridgewood just won the round off of vertical angles.
Holes. I did proning like
just sitting there,
like literally like a puppy waiting for the food to be done. That's as close as I can analyze that one for you. Classical again. He's on. I mean, this is assuming he gets at least one more kill. He's been 15 plus, 2 out of 3 maps. That's as impressive as it gets. Really, I'm really impressed with how he's played. I can't say it enough. Really, I feel like I'm a broken record. Broken classical record. So, reading in Fireplace, Jasmine. Is this the first time we've actually seen the site? We saw reading mining.
Interestingly enough, yeah.
Yeah, or we saw
exactly.
dining mining, but not
Dining
reading
mining, yeah.
Or reading. This always confuses me.
Reading, reading.
Reading, dining, reading, mining, reading. I don't know. This site is B and A. This site used to actually have. It actually used to have like 2 A sites. It was like a glitch. It was like a really funny glitch. I don't know if they fixed it. It might still be like that. But that's always funny.
It's it is really interesting to see that we haven't seen reading my read. You did it to me. You did it to me.
I do.
You made me say reading mining. Okay, well anyway.
Mining.
Reading.
You mean?
Reading.
Mining.
Stop, man. You're actually confusing me. My brain's too small for this. I'm monkey brain.
I mean, if your brain's small, then mine's a peanut.
They're gonna just talk about your genitalia.
Yo.
I'm gonna try this one without messing it up. Reading dining. It's your tertiary bomb site for a team that's been really interesting in terms of how they hold their vertical angles. And by Jesuit just don't sometimes.
I mean, it's funny you say that. It's like the script is flipped. We used to say that at Ridgewood map 1. We were like,
yeah,
they just
exactly.
don't hold. things.
Well, they do have 2 players, but honestly, they're both very split up. If this Goyo dies, it's just going to be 2 1 versus 1s. Or maybe even 2v1s. So, however, Reed has actually got a really, really nice setup here. And he's also got classical for his refrag. So, this could end up working out really well. But Ridgewood are going to make the best of it. You can see they're starting to open things up inside of Train, nonetheless, as it seems like they want to get that dining push going. Classical's going to be swinging on the White Hall. Or, sorry, yeah, the White Hall, but not going to be able to make anything of it just yet. Raven down to very low HP, I believe, from Praise, but nothing of it just yet, as we've seen literally everything but the G8 on IQ. We'll see an AUG of all things. Volpe's going to also go down to very, very low HP. It might not be a kill, but it's very critical for late rounds. If both Raven and Volpe stay alive, they will be very, very low on HP, and any piece of utility could just take them down in an instant. Goo mines that go unchecked, C4s, gas grenades that just clip through random walls. That's the kind of stuff that can win you rounds if you're not careful.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Ironically enough, that Legion buff, or rather nerf, coming quite into play here, because if he, you're right, if he did hit a Legion 9 in the old Legion, he would die. He just got to pull it out really quickly. That's the situation both these 2 players are facing in Classical here. Honestly, he could be huge because he could rotate not only from here up White, he could also go up the brown stairs, because this is looking like a pillars plant. It's just taking a long time to materialize. Volpe and the rest of his team probably going to move into pillars any second now, and that's 3 players. I don't think I've ever seen this one. 3 players on 5 HP. If the attack finds a way to somehow steal this, I would be stunned. They're all literally just a hair away from dying. Pride is going to find actually a lot of vertical pressure here. He might find a second player from these holes. He's going to light up the Legion, or actually hit him at all. Going to make him reconsider it, but I mean, the attack, despite the HP, they're able to somehow find themselves in an advantageous position. They're somehow in a 2 versus 5, and they have no HP on their side. But Classical, he was in a position where he could flank before, but it doesn't actually happen. He's going to rotate up above, but he's got to be a lot faster than he is. Players are actually going to drop right in front of him. The timing is terrible. He finds the 1 HP IQ above and actually finds Pride as well. This is winnable because, again, look at the health in the attackers, but the one who's full of health, AA Ram, eliminates Classical and puts us on series play.
More than half of Ridgewood was quite literally on 1 HP.
That's unreal. I honestly... I don't think they knew. The only thing I can imagine, the defenders didn't know that they were tagging them, which they don't. They don't have, this isn't like, some other games. This isn't like League of Legends or anything. There are no, like, health, bars on people. They don't know. They can only gauge off of the, that the operators make when you shoot them, which is another pro tip. Make sure your dial volume is on 100 so that you hear those free. Make sure you hear the, and the,
all the
that's
pro
what
tips
happens.
just
That's how you
coming
know
out
you
for
lit
free
someone.
from Cookies R6.
Free
It's
tips.
crazy.
Just turn that stuff up so you can hear it.
I'm sorry. I know you didn't want me to call you Cookies R6.
No, it's funny in this context. But
That's my bad.
you have these things on. You probably know that those players are low HP. Defenders probably didn't know. They just didn't know, and that's probably why they didn't swing. Because even on a vertical fight, which you typically don't see defenders winning, when you're low HP, like that's literally just you literally touch them. And they die, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking for Jesuit here. I mean, it's their season on the line here. Match point.
Their entire work, breaking through multiple brackets, trying to get themselves into this final, it all crumble in a 3-0 series that is just looking like highway robbery so far for Ridgewood. We had a 7-4 last map. We had a 6-round comeback on map number 1. This has just become a Ridgewood game. And it's only going to get a little bit better for Jesuit as ReedSync finds an opening frag onto a man that has just been super, super good for Ridgewood. It's going to be A-Ram. Basically, the ReedSync / Classical of Ridgewood will fall down here. That could become really difficult as the Zofia is gone, the impacts are gone, the concussions are completely gone, and shields are safe. The only thing that you had to destroy those deployable shields, well, actually, you do have the Hibana pellets, if they consider that, because obviously, the way that you can use Hibana pellets is you can press, I think it's B is your switch fire rate button, so you can only use 2 pellets. That's enough to destroy a deployable shield, if they know that. I haven't seen a lot of Selmas destroying shields, so they can also do that. But in general, those are focused towards hard breach. Your Zofia is there specifically to destroy shields, and you've gotten rid of that focus, and you've also gotten rid of a very important fragger on the side of Ridgewood. And ReedSync might be able to find another. He's just turned his angle right towards Fried, but he can't get it. Fried, who has been very quiet for the past 2 maps, has woken up. He's a lion right now. He's just hounding down everyone on Jesuit. A late refrag, but it's a refrag nonetheless.
And you know, it's ironic. We talk about how this is almost, I mean, for the time being, it's looking like it could potentially be a 3-0. Ridgewood's doing this as a 5 seed. This would actually be, in the grand scheme of things, it would be an upset. Jesuit actually the 2 seed for the season, or for the playoffs at least, and it's looking like the Titans are about to fall here. A 2 versus 4. It's Classical and Praise, but Classical is not going down without a fight. He has to be nearing 20 kills, but he's eliminated, and that's huge. It's just Praise, and Raven and Ridgewood are going to win HSEL Winter 2020, and they're going to be going home for the scholarship, baby. The dining hall food is going to be free come 2021. And you know what? Like I said, that is an upset and a half. No one expected Ridgewood to come this far, and for them to be so darn good is just so dominant. 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, if you were watching this from the perspective of just a casual viewer, just going in like, wow, they're 5th seed, and they are down 6-2 on Oregon. And then all of a sudden, a 3-0, a dominant 3-0 from Ridgewood.
That is
all that, just wow.
I mean, it's almost even better when you think about their seeding. Like, they literally were not supposed to get this far in the first place.
Yeah.
they proceed to come back from 6-2, proceed to dominate 3 maps in a row, and then proceed to win the whole thing. It's and I mean, we look at Miss Aram. Aram, I'm telling you, he was like fine wine in this game. He just literally, I mean, map 1 is like, you know, whatever, showed a flash of success or whatever. Map 2 was like, oh, this guy's for real. And map 3, he looked like Michael Jordan out there.
He's actually just putting up numbers.
Look at
that
this man. He's
yeah,
like dominant.
Absolutely crazy stuff there from a lot of players. I think a lot of players that we expected to be quiet started to show up. Aram, Fried. They didn't have good map 1s. They didn't have good starts, but they turned it into something so good. It helped out so much for them. The fact that Ridgewood were just able to show up. And unfortunately, while Praise got his frags, I hate to say it, but Jesuit were really riding on the coattails of ReedSync and Classical. But they're awesome players. They're excellent. They have shown that they are really good, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to win this $5,000 scholarship prize pool. It just wasn't. It was the teamwork and the hardship of Ridgewood to take 3 maps in a row without contestation. The closest map that we had was an 8-6, and both of the final maps were 7-4. So it was quite. You have to wonder if mentally Ridgewood won on Oregon the entire series on Oregon.
Yeah,
It's very possible. How do you like you were on match point, you were 6-2 and you lose. So again, a team like Jesuit, who they might be new, maybe they're not. A team like Jesuit, their entire mental, no matter how experienced they are, can just crumble after losing a 6-2. So it's arguable, but obviously we don't know the mental. We aren't in the comms of Jesuit, and we're not interviewing them. So we're just gonna have to assume Jesuit played fine, but they didn't play good enough.
You said it well.
So it's been quite the game from Ridgewood and Jesuit. Star players coming out, showing themselves, but the team just wasn't enough to take it away. So map number 3 is all but over. It is all but over. And this entire series is all but over. Ridgewood are your HSEL Fall Major 2020 champions. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't.
I think you did. Yeah. It's the Fall Major HSEL 2020. Yes. This is 2020. It's
I'm
been
just
a
the best.
it's been a hell of a year. But you know what? It's a great thing, especially if you're a young blood in this day and age, to going to school, you're going to college, and you're gonna have a lot of it paid for. It's as good as it gets. So with that, after a short break here, we'll go into the interview with the winning team.
You have a word from our sponsor, I believe. So,
Yes.
National Guard. So, you can start your career in an exciting field in the Army National Guard, like science, communications, engineering, and medicine, all while earning money to further your education. Get paid to learn skills in these high-demand and rewarding professions, all while serving part-time for your local community, state, and nation. Please make sure to check out how you can become a citizen soldier at nationalguard.com. With that being said, Cookies, it's been quite the game. It's all over, though. We're going to toss it to a break before we get to our interview with the Ridgewood victorious. And what a map 3. What a map. What a series in general. Thank you for being alongside it with me. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our winners interview. We just concluded a 3-0 series, where, as you can see at the top of your screen, Ridgewood have just dominated Jesuit. We're here with Fried, the Buckman that really decided to ramp things up on Cafe. My man, I mean, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. We just 3-0'd them. I'd say 3-0s are one of the hardest too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like one of those things where it's just like, you kind of just get into the groove of it. You just kind of like, you just feel it, and then it just happens. And it's exactly what happened with you guys. Beautiful stuff from you, Fried, and from your teammates.
Yeah.
Fried chicken. His name's Fried Chicken. Just for it threw me
Sorry,
off.
my bad. It's Fried
He's
chicken.
not fried dash. He's fried chicken. Man.
Yeah, Fried. I mean, excellent series from you and your team. I can't say that there was really a lot of standout players. You guys were pretty well balanced. You guys were just kind of doing your own thing, being just being that kind of teamwork team. On the other end, you had, Jesuit. They had their playmakers, Classical, and I always forget his name. It's like so obscure. It's
Reed?
Classical and Reed. Yeah, I don't know why his name's just really obscure.
Ending.
Yeah, right. It's weird. It's a weird name. No
Yeah.
disrespect on that man. He is crazy, but
He's
what?
insane.
But y'all beat him. Y'all had a
Yeah.
really spread out team. You guys had a lot of influence. I read that on your team page, or like on your kind of like team bio that we had, like the notes that we got. You guys have like a full team of flex and supports and an IGL, so it could help in terms of what spread the kills. There wasn't really a lot of players that were standing out, but as a team, how are you guys feeling in terms of, what got done? Like the communication, was it fluid? Was there issues? Just run me by the process.
It's like we had a lot of issues at the beginning. We're getting people calling out too many things. The comms were cluttered with information. People over, like, it was really chaotic at first. But once we kind of got things settled, we just pushed it. Like everything was crisp. Everything went our way. And we got the maps.
I mean, yeah, kind of see it like right there. They got the maps.
No,
They it's over there. They absolutely got the maps. I'm always bad with this. I've tried to do this every single cast that I do. Just bad at it. Cookies, it's easier for you. Yeah, exactly. Because you're just like right up there.
I messed up. Yeah.
Come on, man. It's like your son. Oh, now you're gray.
I'm glitching out. I'm turning into a cyborg.
So, coming into the map, remind me if you will. Oregon was your pick?
No, it was.
I believe. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys were down. I mean, I have to talk about this. You guys were down 6-2. You guys were on the brink of losing Oregon, and you managed to just keep the momentum going from there. I kind of theorized that it was the mental game, and that Jesuit at that point kind of lost the mental game, and that you guys just started to ride off the coattails of that, kind of running off the high of that 8-6 victory. So, did you feel kind of like euphoric after you won that? Did you feel like you guys were just ready to win every single map? Like, was it that sort of Oregon game that just sent you on your way and just kept you going in a very unstoppable manner?
I would say yeah. For that, the momentum just built on into the next map, and we just closed it on Consulate, man. It was already a map the moment we entered in. We said we got this in the bag, and we
I
did.
like that attitude. No, I love that attitude. I mean, that attitude gave you guys 5,000. And sometimes it's the attitude that can make or break your game. So I'm afraid to toss it over to Cookies because right now he's doing some weird cyborg tricks. But Cookies, any questions from you?
No, not really. Oh, I guess who would you attribute, like, we all talk about the fraggers on your team. Who would you
Yeah.
attribute the IGLing and support to? Who was really the backbone of your success in this match?
I would say me and Shadow. Like
Shadow.
his callouts were crisp, man.
Okay, because I want to tell the stream. I mean, I was on Shadow's head on Cafe. I was like, what the, he had two, like, I think two 1v1s and a 1v3, where it was like, I was just like, where is he? What? But throughout the series, obviously, outside of those rounds, he had a hell of a game in terms of calls, in terms of IGLing, like said with you, Mr. Fried Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It obviously led to a win because, like I was saying it the whole game, you guys are a better team top to bottom than Jesuit was. It was obvious throughout the series. It was clearly a better 5-man effort, and that's what it's all about. It's some championship winning siege, and I really appreciated watching that today. So that's all I've got, really.
I mean, is there much to say there? I mean, we have to be honest. As much as Shadow didn't put up the numbers, this is a great example of the fact that it doesn't matter. If you don't know what's going on the back lines here, and obviously we're hearing it from Fried that Shadow's calls were crisp and the momentum was just there. Everything was just there for Ridgewood. It felt like they were unstoppable, and obviously it sounded like they were too. So Fried, the platform's yours, man. Take it away. Do you have anything to say for the fans? Because I'm in high school and I'm not earning $5,000 worth of scholarship money, but you are, sir, from playing Rainbow Six Siege. Just take it away. I know the emotions are flowing. Just let them all out without being too inflammatory. Don't say anything like swear words, but regardless, just let the emotions roll.
You follow my friend Raven R6 on Twitch. He's streaming all the time. Give him a follow.
Wait, this is important. Is there a an underscore, or is it just Raven R6?
It's Raven R6.
He's got it
Anyone else?
unlocked, man.
Anyone else need a shout out?
Nah, man.
What about
That's
you?
it.
You don't stream? What
No,
the heck,
I don't
man?
stream.
Bro, this is your platform. Go. Just let anything
No,
out.
I'm a humble man. What do you
Don't be
mean?
humble. You won $5,000. Don't be humble.
I'm
Oh, I
nervous,
guess we
man.
didn't ask. Like your teammates' college plans. I mean, we talked like before the interview started, but your teammates are
Not
going or
really.
anything yet? Are we still deciding? Let them decide. Y'all are still young. Don't pick a
We've got
college and
time.
everything you don't know yet. But yeah, it was fun to watch. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You're very
one more
humble,
thing.
Mr. Fried Chicken. Yeah,
One more thing.
Let's
Give another follow, my boy. Thunkin Class on Twitch.
thump in class.
Thunkin Class.
Funkin' class. Okay. You have to post that in chat too. Like spam it.
Just spam it. All right.
The model lets you spam it, bro.
They don't just refer them to us. We'll do something about it. Fried, you're a legend in the high school scene. There it is. We got some more people putting it in chat. You're an absolute legend in the high school scene. Congratulations on your big win. Just, you might be humble, and I think both of us appreciate that. And you're gonna make it far, but just go celebrate. Go let it all out.
Don't drink.
You guys are crazy. Don't
Not allowed to
drink.
Yeah, no.
Don't do that.
No
It's off the
weeds.
list.
No devil's lettuce.
That's off the list.
No blue candy. None of that.
None
No
of that.
blue rocks.
no.
Just. But besides that, go celebrate, man. Go celebrate your victory. You did absolutely incredible, and you absolutely deserve it. Go take a break. Christmas is coming up, and you just won $5,000 for Christmas. So congratulations to you and your team, Fried.
All right. Thank you, man.
Take care.
God bless Fried.
absolute humble guy. So it's a wrap. It's a wrap, Cookies. It's been a really interesting game, I would say, between Ridgewood and Jesuit. between Ridgewood and Jesuit. It's gonna be a 3-0, and as you can see, the computer's going relentless right now on Cookies. But other than that, I've been Jazzman. This might no longer be Cookies as he's being taken over by some demonic Oh my god, it's just wow.
You know, this has never happened anywhere before. Like,
no, not even to me. It's unlucky.
I've never had this happen to me. So
oh my goodness. Yep. I've been Cookies. I've not been Cookies. I've been Jazzman. You can catch me on Twitter at JazzmanCast. This has been Cookies. If you wanna go ahead and plug, you can.
Cookies R6 on everything. Like Twitter. That's it.
JazzmanCast on Twitter and everything as well. You can catch Cookies in Challenger League broadcasts. You can catch me absolutely nowhere because I'm underage. But other than that, it's been a pleasure. Cookies, my friend. It's been absolutely amazing. It's been a really fun, I loved making fun of CEO Castle Strats. But other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in to me and Cookies while he lasts. It's been very fun. And good night to everyone. Cookies, any final thoughts?
Thank you for HSEL for having me. Congratulations to Ridgewood High. You've got 5 fabulous Siege players that hopefully carry on and do great things in life. And Jesuit, JCP, Jesuit, Penny.
JC Penny.
You came far. You have nothing to be ashamed of. This is just a start to illustrious career that you will all have in life and in Siege. God bless you all. Have a great night.